So I guess just roughly speaking, where today's adventure is going to take place is in the kingdom of Gendaria. As far as sort of point of reference, you can think of the Gendarian Empire as functioning much like what we think of the Roman Empire. So very bureaucratic, very sort of heavily administered, kind of micromanaged here and there. Lots of sort of security about, lots of military personnel, that sort of thing. But also an equal amount of corruption with politicians, senators, that sort of thing. Now, all of you guys have been, adventurers, tradesmen. I left it pretty open as for your backgrounds previous to this point. But let's introduce our characters a little bit, and then we'll dive into where it is that you're heading today. So we'll just go around the circle again. I know it's different from what Myth's thrown up on the stream, but left to right here, let's start with Finbar. Who are you playing today, Finbar?
So my character is called Ignatius Cecilius, and he is a tiefling bard because I'm a filthy min-maxer, and plus 2 charisma is great. By trade, he is sort of bard. He does a bit of performance stuff. Carries a violin around with him because people are yelling outside my window. And he's a charlatan is how he makes his money in the sort of background section of the book. He cheats at a lot of card games. He's generally a bit of a roguish man. Sometimes he gets away with it. Sometimes he has to run. But he's very good at kind of remaking his look so that he can get other places, even though he does have like bright golden eyes and blue purple skin and stuff like that. He's fairly unidentifiable, but somehow manages to kind of get by being the lovable bastard he is.
Okay, as a charlatan, I imagine there have been a few jobs or heists or little sort of things that didn't exactly go your way. Give me like one example of maybe an unfortunate situation you found yourself in. Maybe there's an NPC floating around who's maybe not too pleased with you.
So you talked about bureaucracy and such. I think at one point I went into a casino a bit fancier, or like a gambling hall of some description, a bit fancier than maybe my usual, and I tried to cheat a judge, and the casino staff caught me. And now they're not overly pleased with me. Apparently cheating judges isn't a thing you do. And yeah, so
you can't do that.
So I kind of made an enemy of him, and like he's got like family connections and such. So I tend to try and avoid official places nowadays.
Fair enough. Sounds good. All right, let's go to Cord. Cord, who are you playing?
I've playing Thimel Ironrang. He's a cleric who was once a sage. He used to be a professor of the stars and learned his celestial magic through the cosmos.
So you're a nerd?
Yep, huge nerd. Dwarven nerd. Level 1 dwarven nerd cleric.
Okay, as a sort of dwarven sage, obviously there must have been a little bit of tension with the family back home, given that you did a lot of your studying of the stars, most of which you can't see when underground or in mountains. Is there any kind of tension there?
Yeah, there was lots of times where he would escape after, like, or maybe even during some, like, the days-long prayer sessions towards, the, dwarven gods of Moradin and stuff. And then he was just like, I'm gonna just go check out the stars. And he would, like, probably sneak off and then head upstairs and head up to the surface or outside and just spend hours, if not the whole night, just staring at the cosmos, and probably maybe even on that's probably right. He's been inspired to follow the gods. He finds more of a closer connection staring at the gods with that. Thank you so much, Roblox Helper 3000, for that follow. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
So yeah, he's a bit of an outsider then, keeping your head upwards rather than downwards among the dwarves.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. All right, moving on to Ray. Ray, who are you working with today?
I'm basically playing Randy, the barbarian. I didn't know the setting, so I would have picked a more Roman-sounding name. But for the sake of the character,
I got lucky.
I for a long time have been looking for an excuse to make a barbarian that's basically Macho Man Randy Savage. So I'm going to try my best, put on my best.
We all have that dream.
I love it. Can't wait.
Randy's he's from a barbarian tribe, and he's come to. We're in a city, or we're sort of a more populous,
fairly urban, fairly urban setting.
Yeah, so he's come out of the wilds as an outlander to sort of entertain the masses. He's the strong man within his clan, and he's also the macho man. So he's come to the big city to make his make a name for himself, be kind of a performer.
Cool, cool. Now, having spent most of your time, I guess, in the wilderness, do you feel one way or the other about the city, or are you just sort of indifferent? Do you kind of, are you disdainful of sort of urban settings? Do they kind of feel dirty to you, or do you find them really exciting and stimulating because there's all this new stuff to see?
I think it would be stimulating, but he probably would have like a real lack of understanding of social graces and how to sort of interact in certain situations, like uncouth, because all of his time he spent in the wilds.
Cool, right on. And last but not least.
My character's name is Elizabeth. We paired Raymond's character and mine. So I also came from the barbarian tribe that Randy is from. I am a charlatan rogue. Yeah, I think
Good stuff.
this will be the first time that we're heading out into the city.
Okay, now as a sort of roguish type, fairly good with your hands and fairly light on your feet. What did you do, I guess, for a living, or what did you do as sort of your most common pastime when you were living with barbarians? What did you kind of keep yourself busy with or occupied with?
When we were living with barbarians, I think I would try to trick a lot of the people in town, and that's part of the reason why I had to leave, because eventually people started to catch on and I had to get out of there.
Thank you,
Cool, right on.
Haywood, for that follow. You're awesome.
Cool, cool. All right, now one more thing I want to do just to sort of build a little bit more of a party dynamic for you guys. And this is borrowing from a really cool system by Monty Cook, who, for those of you who might know, was one of the co-designers and writers on countless games, 2nd edition D&D, 3rd edition, 3.5, the Planescape setting. He's now got his own company now that does all their own products. And they...
Really good system. Fun.
Oh, are you muted?
I think you muted, fella.
Hello?
Numenera, the Strange, good.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're back.
Yeah, so the Cypher system has this cool mechanic where whenever you make your character, depending on the type of...
Everybody back?
We're good? We're good? Sound
Yeah,
is
that
good?
was weird.
That was weird.
I blame Will. Will's fault.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks.
I'm just happy it wasn't just me.
I'm definitely here, guys. So definitely my fault.
I got so nervous.
All right, so where did I get cut off there and then just talk like a...
Numenera, and then you were like, yeah, that setting, and then
Yeah, Cypher
everything you
system,
said.
when you create characters,
Yeah.
depending upon the...
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, so one cool thing they have in the Cypher system is they have these little tables based on the type of character you make that let you roll up connections to the other party members. So it's a way of having more of a sort of tangled dynamic.
No.
Strange.
So what it could be is it could be the feedback.
Oh.
I don't know if anybody could hear me right. Yeah, I think it could be the feedback. There's
I
like
figured out what it
something
is.
that happens,
I figured out what it
and
is,
then
and I
it starts
fixed it.
3 seconds, and it
Oh,
stops.
no.
What is it?
Apparently Will has worked it out.
I fixed it. Whatever it was, it won't happen. Carry on.
Okay.
Will is here.
It is on this
He's
side.
officiating. He's
Yeah.
seeing how I do.
Don't worry, boys. I got you.
User
Cool, so
error.
we'll blast through again. So we're going to roll up some connections so you guys know each other a little bit. You've maybe been adventuring a little bit together, done a couple jobs here and there, so that you're a little bit more tangled with one another. So we're going to do this sort of by class is how I built these lists. So we'll start with Finbar. So you're a bard. I need you to roll me a 1d4.
1d4. Absolutely. That's not our space. 1d4. A 1.
Okay, so Finbar, you can pick one other PC, and that PC is your worst critic. They are just so critical. They just don't find you entertaining. They don't find you skilled. They just, whatever it is, either the sound of your voice, however you perform, it just doesn't do it for them. So that really kind of bothers you a little bit. So you can pick which PC, for whatever reason, just doesn't find you that talented.
I think it might be Elizabeth, because we're both charlatans. So I think we
There's only room for
basically
one.
constantly nitpick each other's like techniques. It's like, no, you're doing it all wrong. You lead way too aggressive, and yeah, I think it's that of like, she basically thinks that I'm no good at what I do, and
He doesn't read the room. He doesn't.
yeah. I get too focused on my target, but I always criticize them. You never get anything done. Da da da. No, that's our typical argument.
Cool, right on. All right, now Cord, as the cleric, you can roll a d4 as well, and I'll tell you what you got.
Sure, I'd love to.
Do that dwarf voice.
I may slip into
That's
it.
so good.
Thank you. 3. I may slip into Billy Connolly, which is a common mistake. 3.
I'll give you inspiration every time you slip into Billy Connolly.
All right, I could do that. Oh no.
Okay, so Cord with a 3, one of the other PCs, at one point, you helped cure their relative. Their relative was very sick. But you know that their relative was actually not that sick. They were kind of malingering. They were pretending they were sicker than they were. But this PC thinks that you saved them from certain death. So
This
you
guy's a
better savior.
faker. Okay, I'm going to say it was probably Macho Man Randy Savage's like
perfect.
chieftain or something. And I'd be like, this guy, he just has a wound. This is nothing. Just here, take these antibiotics. And he just...
I'm definitely super stupid too, so...
yeah, I saved him. That's what I just take this Band-Aid. He's just bleeding, that's all. So, yeah.
Cool. Now you can choose, Cord, whether or not you actually told that you knew that this father.
He probably did, but whether or not Randy actually understood, it's just he probably did once. Was just like it wasn't that big of a deal, and he was just like, yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, well, either way, Randy's beholden to you. He's very appreciative of that help.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, Randy, barbarian, give me the D4. Let's see what happens.
Exciting times.
3.
Okay, there's one other PC who is seemingly amazed by your feats of strength and is always asking you to do them and perform them at really inopportune times. And it's actually starting to get a little bit annoying. They just constantly want you to show off because they can't figure out how strong you are.
Elizabeth would be funny, but does Finbar? I don't have anything with Fin. What's Finbar's character again, other than being Ignatius?
His name is Ignatius. He's a tiefling, but yeah, I think he's definitely
Bard, right?
Yeah, he's kind of like he is a city kid, so he's used to kind of fast talking. People are skinny and all that jazz. So I think seeing a person who can like bench press a wagon is truly amazing to him. So
Okay,
I think
yeah, I like
it
that.
would. Yeah,
I like that. Like rip this phone book in half.
yeah. So
Cool. So yeah,
break this thing. Break
Yeah.
this thing.
Jim.
Break this thing.
Oh yeah, brother.
Snap
cool.
into a
So
phone book.
he is just always badgering you to break things.
Hey, break this. Hey, you can't break that.
It's gonna be good.
Okay, and Elizabeth.
1 second. Let me pull up the dice. A D4?
Yep.
Did that go through?
Yep, you got 1.
Ooh, okay, so as a 1, as a rogue, you once saw 2 of the other PCs through a keyhole or a slot in a door or a window doing something very secretive and possibly illegal. They don't know that you saw them, but you get to choose what they were doing.
Hello?
Yep. All good. All good.
I think I'm gonna choose Finbar's character. I'm gonna say I saw him being like a really nice guy, like saving
So is it?
Saving-
This is
saving
the
like
bluster came down.
a little kid. Yeah, he's like he has a heart of gold inside, but he tries to be like a really sneaky like tough guy. But hello.
Just turn back on cameras. It should work.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
it won't.
It's been so long. It should
What was a
work.
new call? Should be fine.
Hello?
What was happening before? There was
Oh god.
Crap.
it's a new call that needs to be. Oh yeah, it was the Roll20 thing.
Yeah.
So those of you,
Double check
is
their
it you?
Roll20 settings pages.
Well, you just joined Roll20.
Make sure your video and voice is on nothing. Yep.
Bear with
then
us
try
2 seconds,
turning it
guys.
on.
They're sorting it out.
Alright,
They messed
back.
up. We blame them.
For some reason, I can't turn my
Blame
camera
Finbar,
on.
guys. What can I say?
Just quickly check in your Roll20 page under the settings tab. There's the video and voice section. Make sure both of those are set to nothing. So I want to broadcast to others nothing. I want to receive from others nothing. Then try again.
Yeah, mine's all
That
set
was
there.
messing with us in the last one shot.
Technical difficulties happen
can recall
12 hours
if we
in,
need
nearly
to.
13 hours in.
It might be wise.
All right, I'm gonna recall
Okay.
everybody.
Cool.
Just 1 second.
They are recalling. And I'm going to have to do the videos again. God damn it, Myth. My good lord, everyone. The moment I leave, everything goes to pot. Here we go. I'm getting back in. Here we go. Hello, people.
One crit miss, and then I was like, I'm scared. All right, we're
You
back.
guys are coming back. Any minute now.
How's our videos? Are they weird? Probably.
No, mine's coming through. I can see.
Everyone needs to press accept the video things.
The video doodle.
Oh, and the call ended for some reason. Brilliant.
I
Jesus.
just had one more question for Elizabeth once we get all back here.
Okay.
So-
Oh, I had to choose one more person for my
Yeah,
secret.
wasn't it me and someone else were doing something?
I'm gonna
weird
say
and or
I'm gonna
possibly-
say I saw Randy. Randy, everybody thinks he's a really strong guy. He works out all the time. He's secretly taking like steroids, like
nice.
D&D steroids.
super body conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Body dysmorphia.
He's doing some
God.
like weird plant
He's-
bomb raps, which are just. and he's
Okay,
like,
we're back,
"I'm
and
wrapping
I'm
what?
gone."
I'm wrapping the stuff.
It's a cucumber putty. It's amazing.
Yeah. The poisons really, make me swell.
God damn it.
Okay, now Elizabeth, would you have told Finbar that you saw him doing that thing? Like, is this a secret that you both have that maybe you blackmail him with, or are you keeping it
Yes.
to yourself?
I'm
Oh, damn
definitely
you.
I'm definitely blackmailing.
My vengeance
Okay, so
will
he's a
come,
little on
Elizabeth.
edge with you.
His reputation to the group is at stake.
Cool. So now we've got a little bit more of a tangled party connection, which is a better way to start, I think.
Nice.
Since that reset, I'm having a hard time getting my camera working now. Give me a second.
Yeah.
All good.
Today the character of Wheel, or today the character of Randy will be played by a spinning wheel. There he is.
Cool. Good to go. So, like I said, you guys have been traveling together, for the last few weeks or so, and that's how you develop these connections. These little incidents happened here and there to tangle you up a bit. But you've all been traveling sort of for your first trip or your first journey to what is known as the fairgrounds. Now, the fairgrounds are a sort of famous sort of entertainment district outside of the capital city of Gendaria. So they're outside of the city proper, but the fairgrounds themselves are a walled compound. So think of like the biggest, most absurd casino you can think in modern times, translated back into our sort of neo-medieval fantasy
Vegas
setting.
Strip.
Exactly, everything you can imagine. I mean, it's famed not only for its sort of games and excitement, as well as the big shows that they do in the big circus tent, but for everything a little bit seedier as well. So there's a whole lot of drugs, sex, alcohol, that kind of stuff. So it is everything you can imagine and more as far as adult entertainments.
Oh, we just have to bring the rock and roll, people.
I can do that. And he just picks up his mace and throws it and like rolls it down the path. Right? That's what you meant?
So we'll
Perfect,
start off. We'll start off with you guys about 200 meters out.
Okay.
from the actual entrance to the fairgrounds itself. And you all know, or you've overheard the dog barking.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
we
can
can
hear
hear
that.
you.
Oh crap! How do I?
That's cool.
Can you hear me now?
Do you have a pet dolphin?
I'll try
in the
to. I'll
bathtub.
try to mute him. He's a little upset right now.
Yeah, mute him. Don't mute me.
I'll do push to talk.
Okay. Thank you.
So you guys are just sort of walking up to the fairgrounds. You're all sort of excited about going for various reasons. You're not here on a job. This is one of the first times in a while you've been able to just enjoy yourselves, whatever that looks like. But as you're getting closer to the gates, you are starting to see how they run this organization. And there's clearly not only going to be a cost.
Turn on PPT, Michelle.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I
Just
think the
fix that.
default in Skype is Control M, mute and unmute your microphone. There is also, if you just pop up the little thing, the little microphone button, turn it on and off between when you talk. If
You did it because
if
you're
Skype's
muted.
being
so.
a piece of shit,
There you are.
as it often is.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks,
So you guys are
Fran. That's good to know.
heading into the fairgrounds. You're going to have to pay some amount of gold. You're not sure yet to get in. And there's also very apparently a weapon check. They're patting everybody down. And you're depositing your weapons. It seems like a pretty wealthy organization because they have bags of holding with little tag numbers. So similar to a coat check, you get a bag of holding assigned to your possessions. You put them in. That's sort of covered in the cost. So you guys can sort of interact with one another just sort of before you get to the gates, interacting with those first guards to potentially discuss who's going to be paying the bill. If one or another of you doesn't have a lot of cash on hand, that may need to be discussed. But you're going to have to pay to get in, and you're not going to be able to bring any weapons.
Okay.
Hey, so
I kind of like lean over Thimmel and I'm like, do you think
Hey.
they'd let us like have a look inside it?
the bag?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, probably. You
Like-
think we'd like stick our head?
It's a
in there?
hole in time and space.
Ah,
It's
yeah,
kinda
sure.
cool on the inside.
Time and space. That sounds awesome. We should totally take a look. I mean, maybe I wonder if you could fit like stars in there because that's in time
Randy.
and space.
Randy, if you like hold my ankles, can you like dip me down in? I can like.
Is that how we get? And then we could throw them past the guards, and then we'd be in, and we'd all have our weapons. Why do we
I mean,
need our
that's
weapons?
the thing. We can try and like hop a ladder up over it. We can just screw the paying the
We'd probably be
fees.
fine. Let's
Yeah,
let's play it cool for now.
This security doesn't look so tough.
Oh yeah, brother. I reckon I can throw you up over that wall.
This
I
sounds
like
fantastic.
this guy. What tribe are you from? That is a cool accent.
Oh yeah. I'm
So-
from the north, brother. I'm a savage man from the savage lands. Yeah.
Is there like a way did we spot? You said we started like a little way off. Is this on the edge of a city?
Yeah, it's probably like half a day's walk to the capital city, but it is outside
Okay.
the capital city. So
Okay,
you don't see any of the actual sort of city security or like city guards, but they clearly have their own sort of internal security running the fairgrounds.
Okay. So I kind of turn to Elizabeth. And I go, right, Elizabeth, you're one of these sneaky, crafty types. Let's do a little lap and see if we can't find ourselves a weak point to sort of just skip that whole paying thing. Because I'm not a fan of losing money. I don't have to be. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm right behind you.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
You know,
I have
I'm just
total
gonna
faith in your
walk
abilities.
up there and probably do what they tell me. I'm just gonna give him my mace and my shield. I mean, what do I've got nothing to fight. What?
Why do you hate fun?
I don't hate fun. I just don't want.
You,
I just
you
don't.
evidently hate fun. Why are you not coming having fun with us?
Well, you can have fun.
We're gonna
I'm just
break
afraid.
into a place. It's gonna be great. Randy's gonna throw you
I-
like a shot put.
It makes me anxious, you know. I'm like my palms are
dwarf
sweating
toss
just
of
thinking
old.
about it.
Is a legend amongst my people.
What?
The dwarf toss.
Yeah.
It's a great event in a battle long
The dwarf
ago.
toss. Oh yeah, no, I like the dwarf toss, watching it, but I mean, and hearing about the stories, yeah, great. But I don't like participating because if you haven't noticed, am a dwarf, and nobody tosses a dwarf.
Oh man.
There it
I
is.
kind of just look over
Look
the
at
top
setup.
of the tent and go, oh yeah. Can we do like a perception on a roll or anything to kind of scope the security, see if we
Yeah,
can?
you
find
guys
some-
you guys can do a walk around the place, and everyone can give me their own perception checks.
So I kind of lay it on thick with him. Of like, at least come for a stroll with us, buddy. We won't break in yet. If you want
I'm
to,
really anxious.
be fine.
I don't know. I barely know you. Who is this guy?
So yeah, I guess do we just roll the one, or does everyone roll it?
You can each individually roll them, and we'll see who sees what.
Okay.
Can you take the passive perception, like without rolling?
Well, passive perception's more sort of what would you notice sort of in your peripheral sort of thing. But if you guys are active,
gotcha.
looking up and down, we'll make an active.
Perception. Good. I have 0 modifiers to this roll. It's going to go really well.
Minus.
Yes.
Oh shit.
All right, so 3, 5, 10, 14. So
Macho
nothing
Man, Randy
exceptional.
Wow, you would've
All doing
guessed.
great.
Yeah, so I think as me and Elizabeth are bickering, is like, I keep pointing out ways I think, and she's like, no, this is obviously stupid because of this reason, and I'm like, we're just arguing.
Yeah, so I mean, between your bickering and trying to point out flaws, all that you and Elizabeth are able to actually pick out is that it is in fact a walled compound. The walls are probably 75 feet high, and they are made of stone, so it's a pretty serious sort of permanent fixture. But beyond that, you're not tracking a whole lot.
Okay.
Now, forward, you do notice as you guys circuit around the back of the fairgrounds, there is a rear entrance with sort of large barn-sized doors. Obviously, you don't get to go into them. It's quite heavily guarded. And Cord, I'll say that you notice the guards are all fairly burly. They all wear red tunics, mixed race guards. You've got some humans, half-elves, a couple half-orcs and things. And they all seem to be fairly well-fed, and they seem to enjoy their positions.
Everybody's fat here. Look at that.
They're not the kind of disgruntled-looking, they're not upset with working the back door. They enjoy working
Red
where.
shirts, you said.
Unionized is what you're saying. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
And Ray with a 14, you notice some enormous animal bestial footprints. They're a couple days old. There's been a little bit of sort of wind blown through that's covering them up a little bit, but there's some large footprints moving in and out from these barn doors. But as far as alternate entrances, I mean, it's pretty much a hexagonal walled compound.
Okay. So, I presume like this other entrance gets pointed out to us. Do we get any clear idea of like what it's for?
If you want to talk to one of the guards, you'd be totally free to do so. I mean, you know that the fairgrounds has these sort of nightly shows. So at the big circus tent, everyone sort of gathers from where it is that they're engaging in whatever form of debauchery they choose, and they go for the big circus top show. And these shows are known to have various displays of sort of marvelous things. So it's kind of a mixed bag.
Okay.
And given how crowded and dense the front doors were, and how sort of narrow those entrances were, everyone getting patted down with the turnstiles and everything like that, you would need some kind of alternate entrance for employees, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I guess I'll wander over and ask, unless it's like kind of doff my little hat. It's like, howdy, gentlemen. Is this the way into the fair?
The half-orc, who's only got kind of one snaggle tooth underneath his sort of underbite there, is just going to kind of grunt, shaking his head, and the human beside him is going to turn to you and say, you're on the wrong side, bud, and sort of gesture you back around where you came.
What side is this for?
He's going to pull down his tunic and sort of prop it up and say, fairground staff only.
Do you not recognize me? I am the magnificent Ignatius. This is the marvelous strongman, known as Randy the Macho Man. Truly a specimen of his kind. Followed by his 2 assistants. We are a star act in the circus entertainer world, I think you'll find.
Can I make a what is it going to be? Either a performance or an acrobatics check? To like, I don't know, to do some sort of strongman feat to show these guys?
You can give me an athletics.
In athletics? Okay, I like that. I like that. Let's do that.
Lift your.
You should like
Two
pick me up.
assistants.
Yeah.
So I'll say there's a big Atlas stone boulder sort of on the side of the road.
Oh wow.
I rolled a 20.
Boom.
Nice.
While we're
Right,
waiting
so
here, thank you, Louis Rada, for the follow. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Welcome to the adventure, buddy.
All right, so Randy sort of walks over to this boulder and practically shot puts a boulder, the size of a Volkswagen, past these guys, and that's going to give you advantage.
Yeah. I think
Finbar,
as he's saying, I'm like talking him up of like, the Macho Man conquered the iciest of mountains, the most scorching of heats, and in all of them he lifted the heavy things. No thing too heavy for the Macho Man.
Yeah.
So Finbar, you
Yeah.
will still need to roll to deceive, but you can have advantage based on that shot put at Atlas Storm.
Okay. Deception. Give me... I have +6 on this roll. Advantage gives me 17. Thank you, Macho.
Okay, your sort of human employee there is going to kind of scratch his head. The half-orc is just staring wide-eyed. His jaw's kind of open. He's even drooling a little bit, having seen Randy throw that boulder. And the human is going to say, well, boss didn't say there was anyone else coming through. I mean, I
Don't
guess
worry
all right.
about it. I'll clear it right up for you. If you just let us through, I'll talk to him on the inside. We'll get it all straightened out. Be fine. Be fine. You're doing a great job. What's your name, fella?
Jetted.
Jared, you're doing a good job. You're a fantastic man. I love what you're doing here. You're the best.
You're doing
Yeah,
great.
I'm going to attempt to just breeze past off the back of that unless I'm going to get stopped again.
Yeah, no, I mean, at this point, he's sort of talking with you, but he's just looking over at Randy while sort of talking to you.
I kind of shuffle my compatriots through and then, kind of... I do like a grand flourish to like motion Randy through the gates. Acting like a manager and his star, I suppose.
Yeah, Jared's going to sort of quickly jump to once he realizes you've walked past him, and he'll sort of pull the big wooden bar across the door and open it up for you guys to enter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I get in and I was like, see? I always bring the fun. And you said I couldn't pull it off, Elizabeth.
You just got lucky this time because of Randy.
Randy gives Ignatius like a high five, and it hurts.
Yeah, high five my arm.
Compound fracture.
Wait, so Thimel is a dwarf, but what's Ignatius? Or Ignatius?
Tiefling.
Ignatius is a tiefling, so he's
Tiefling.
like purple, bluish demon kid.
Tips his hat, shows off horns.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, I mean, you guys have the advantage sort of being in the heart of the Empire. There's tons of mixed race stuff, tons of different magic users and things. So nothing would seem too foreign or exotic. I didn't want to give you a setting where it would sort of bar you taking any character options. So
That's fine.
Cool.
not overly suspicious, although you are going to get sort of strange looks.
I accept that being demonkin has its disadvantages. But cool.
Nothing quite as overt as a torch and pitchfork mob, though.
I'll take it.
Truth.
Okay, so yeah.
So you guys enter into the fairgrounds, and I'll let you sort of have a little peruse. There's lots of different sections, lots to be seen, lots to be done. What I'll say, entering through the back, the first thing you'll see, actually, not only is there the large tent kind of right in the center, as if sort of centering on a wheel, and then the roads or the main sort of alleyways sort of are structured similar to spokes on a wheel. And then at the end of each of those little roads and pathways, there's a different form of entertainment. But all through, scattered through the entire fairgrounds, are just assorted games, food vendors, things like that. There's large sort of bar top areas, sort of kind of open-walled, canopied areas to get drinks and things like that. So lots to see. What I will say, I'll give you sort of a list of the 4 big ones that you're going to see. So right to your left as you guys walk in the back door, there's a large sort of almost Victorian-esque looking house, but it's clearly falling apart. It's pretty dilapidated. And on the front of this house, it says the House of Horrors. And there's some sort of people building themselves up outside to kind of get jazzed to go inside the House of Horrors. And then across the street on the other side, you can see that there's what's clearly a gambling house for cards, dice, that sort of thing.
I turned to Ignatius and I said, "Look at the House of Horrors, perfect for you."
Ah, charming dear. Yeah. But I point and say, well, I mean, you could probably go, like, terrify some of the people outside. They may not have to pay to get in if they see you. It'd be great. You could save them some money.
Oh my, this is getting out. Go ahead.
Shush. How dare you, Thimmel. So yeah,
Yeah,
gambling house. What were the other 2?
Yeah, so I guess the first 2, based on the entrance you came in, are the House of Horrors and the Gambling House. But if you guys want to do, like, just a walk-around circuit, I can give you the list of all the major structures you'd see.
Yeah, I'd be happy to
Ignatius, I think we should go in there, brother. We need a dark place for my medicine.
I know. Of course, Randy. Be great. I'll watch you play
Muscle
some ghosts.
medicine.
Be fantastic. So yeah, I guess we'll take a wander over to the House of Horrors.
All right, Finbar and Randy, are the others going to join, or are you
Yeah,
going to go elsewhere?
Thimmel,
Oh,
are you
yeah.
afraid of the dark?
You know, I'm a little afraid, but I mean, yeah, I guess I'll go. He's very,
I like put my
very.
arm around like I've got like one arm like down around Thimmel's shoulders and the other arm like on tiptoes up on like Randy. And it's like fantastic. Elizabeth, we'll see you later, dearie, and like stride off.
I don't think I'm going to be happy. You know what? I'll just stay with Elizabeth. This seems Elizabeth probably needs help with.
Well, it's your call. It's your call
browsing.
forward if you want to
Yeah,
stay
yeah.
back.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not
he's
going to force you.
He's gonna stick around with Elizabeth.
Okay, we'll just hang out.
Don't ever split the party. Okay.
Splits the party
Splits the
promptly.
party.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, so Randy and Finbar are going to enter the House of Horrors. So as you guys enter in, it is very much just like a sort of a sitting room that you have at the opening of a house. And there's a human man sort of in his mid-60s, maybe early 70s, standing there in a nice sort of three-piece suit with a fairly trim mustache. And he sort of just advises you that you'll have to wait your turn. Once the others are finished, you'll be able to make your way through the house. So Cord and Elizabeth, where would you guys like to turn? Or are you going to wait right outside the House of Horrors?
I think Elizabeth would want to go to the
House of
gambling
Horrors.
house. Oh, you want to go in now?
Yeah, I'm a bit. I mean, you want to go to the gambling house? I don't. That seems a bit. That's a bit sinful for me. You know what? I'm gonna.
You don't want to go anywhere, do you?
I don't know. This is a bit. He's a very terrified dwarf. It's just a lot of people in here, and I just. You know what? I think I'm gonna go to the House of Horrors. I could see in the dark, so it's actually not even gonna be that scary for me.
I roll my eyes and we go to the House of Horrors.
There we go.
All right.
Are we
I'll
like
hold your
there
hand
in a
and I'll leave
queue,
you
and
through
then
it.
they join us and like cut in front of the last two people to arrive? It's like, okay.
Yeah, I'll say there's a couple sailors behind you that kind of swear under their breath and sort of reek of rye already that you guys
Yeah.
cut in line.
I like just to
Pardon
kind
me,
of
buddy. You reek. Excuse
to
me.
shut that down. I just use my little thaumaturgy cantrip to amplify my voice and just yell, "Do you dare mess with the Macho Man, Randy Savage?" And just kind of like rumble the ground just a tad. Put on a show.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean the sailors are drunk enough that they kind of don't know. They just think it's part of the act and the house is starting, so they kind of quiet
Yeah.
up. They're not as interested in you.
Yeah, and then on that, just kind of.
All right,
Question,
so
guys, on roll 20, is there a way to pop the character sheet back in to the application? Like,
if
just
you
get pop it
close
up.
I think
Okay.
it usually if you just close it, it will then you can just reopen it from the menu.
Thank you.
I think.
So yeah, or you could like double click them. Yeah.
That worked. Thank you.
Alright, cool.
cool. So you guys are sort of standing in the queue, and eventually it comes to your turn to go as a group. And the man who's sort of attending the sitting room here introduces himself as Manfred, and he says, there are very few rules. You're just trying to make your way through to the back entrance of the house. So you're just literally touring through this house as best as you can. If at any point you want to leave or stop, all you have to cry is Manfred 3 times, and he will come and fetch you to bring you back out the front door.
Oh, that sounds fine. So I
The
say,
savage man from the savage land never says uncle, brother.
well, the safe word is Manfred
You're
3
right.
times, so you don't need to say uncle. It's just Manfred 3 times.
Oh, yeah, brother. Good point.
Thimmel, you're gonna be fine. I
I'm
promise.
sorry. I'm getting a bit
Like
anxious
like
again.
giving Thimmel like a shoulder rub. It's like it's all
Thank you.
good.
There's a
man.
lot of
It's all-
knots in there. There's a lot of stress. Like the boulders of shoulders. And you're just, oh, wow.
You may have left the mountain, but you still carry it with you.
Yeah.
Okay, now does anybody have a passive perception above 14?
No.
No.
No, well, yes, 15.
Nice.
Ow. You are wise.
Okay, so as you guys are sort of shuffling into the first room where you'll be starting, which seems to look like a fairly common sort of domestic living room, there's a couple sofas, there's a desk in the corner, bookshelves and things, a small sort of hearth on the side. Cord, you're going to hear the 2 sailors sort of muttering and whispering to each other in the room behind you as you're walking into this first room of the house. You're going to hear them mutter something about, I'm not gonna back out this time. Well, last time I didn't make it. Yeah. Well, it can't be worse than what they had, those monsters they had in the show last night. So you hear some kind of reference to creatures or some type of strange sort of entities that were used in last night's big top tent show.
Okay.
Oh. We weren't allowed to touch anything, or we just need to get to the other side?
Just be
That's-
going to the into the next room. So the minute Manfred closes the door behind you, the room is completely enveloped in a magical darkness such that even Cord can't see through.
This is not what I wanted.
Pitch black, and then the light sort of snaps back on, and you're in an entirely different room. And I'm going to need a will save from everybody.
Sweet.
Or
I just
wisdom
like,
save.
Ignatius's tail is like kind of is like hovering in the magical darkness, probably not visible, but just ready to like go over Thimmel's mouth to stop him saying Manfred. Just poised. Yeah. So will save was that? Or wisdom. Sorry, I'm thinking Pathfinder.
Wisdom, yeah.
And that's the one, isn't it?
All right, so in this room, what you see the minute the lights sort of come back on, all the furniture is gone. It appears that what you saw before was an illusion, or this is an illusion. There's something magical going on here, obviously. And all around all of the walls are various different animals that have all been sort of splayed open and pinned or nailed against the wall. So it's just a gruesome scene. It smells horrendous. There's sort of hordes of flies. And leading into what would be the next room, you see a doorway. At the back of the room, there's sort of hanging sort of ground beef is the best way you'd be able to describe it. You're going to have to kind of walk through to get through the door. How this house is going to work is if you guys fail 2 consecutive wisdom saves, then you are going to be exhausted. You're going to be sort of traumatized from this experience. So you're going to have some deficits on your rolls for the rest of the evening. But that's only if you fail 2 consecutive. So Cord and Ray. Cord and Ray, you guys are completely shaken by this, and you can describe how that affects you. And the other 2, you seem stoic enough to handle.
I'm just there as this.
I turned to Ignatius and I said, "You really need to shower more."
This, frankly, is just a day back where I used to live. To be honest, don't know what you're complaining about, dear. Frankly, you countryside folk got no stomach. Meanwhile, our 2 friends are just like quivering.
Yeah, Cord and Ray, how are you guys responding to the sort of corpses of animals splayed about?
The 2 like brawny, stout guys were just like, Thimmel probably takes like his collar of his cloak and just puts it over his eyes, and he's like, no, this is not what I wanted, Manfred.
There isn't a man or beast alive that the Randy man is afraid of. But no one said anything about no dead meat.
He's a vegetarian.
The Randy man has gone vegan.
All right, Cord, are you going to call Manfred 3 times, or
Nope,
just the one?
just the one.
Just the once. All right.
I think I hear the first Manfred and I'm ready to lunge.
All right, I'll try it.
Yeah.
You just have to lead me to the next room.
Yeah, we'll be fine. I kind of just to mess, I think, with Elizabeth. I like go, that one right there. That looks like if we just kind of take a bit off, we could probably cook that up. It'd be great.
Bit of salt.
Better than your cooking.
Oh no.
Yeah, and with that, just like stroll forward, kind of put my arm back around Thimmel. It's like, I think we should head this way, good sir, and stride into the next room.
I don't know where we're going. I trust you.
Weeding through the gunk, sort of back and forth, sort of sifting through this to get through the doors, and you enter into what is looks like a sort of kitchen or a food prep kind of area, large sort of pantries on the side, and similar snap. You have the blackness, the darkness sort of show up and then immediately disappear, revealing quite a different room.
That is disorientating.
This one instead, fairly similar to the last one, at least in terms of the smell and the overall sort of horror aesthetic, but they're not animals. It's mostly children. So it got much darker, much more quickly than you might have expected. There are just corpses of children splayed out, but it looks as if they're being prepared to be cooked, based on how they've been sort of chopped up and the sort of the dishes and bowls and things that are being used. So let's get another wisdom save from everybody.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
Wisdom. This is terrifying. Bloop.
Yeah, I think Ignatius's reaction to this, I'm gonna go based on the 1, is that like he lets go of Thimmel and just immediately goes Manfred.
Fine with me.
Yeah. I'll let you do the rest of their scene before you tell me what happens as a result of that.
Okay, so you're immediately pulling pole, and as per Randy's proclamation, people don't bother him, so he's seemingly not bothered by it. And Cord, perhaps you've sort of seen enough in your sort of healing work. You've seen wounded children before, so this doesn't quite bother you as much as you might have expected. And then, yeah, Elizabeth, something about this is a little bit darker than the animals. This kind of turns your stomach a bit more, so you can choose how severely that affects you. Again, this is still your first failed roll, so no stress quite yet.
Yeah, I don't tease. I don't tease Ignatius this time around. I try to just avert my eyes.
Yeah.
Don't say anything.
So yeah, then my quick question is, what happens when I say Manfred, Manfred, Manfred?
Sort of Manfred walks in sort of the way that you guys had come through, and he sort of just takes you by the shoulder and walks you backwards. So he's going to walk you back out the front door.
Okay, cool. Just so I can know what I'm doing when the party catches up with me, as it were. Is there like a guy running this stall thing? Is there like a kind of an attendant at the front?
Manfred was the only attendant
right, okay.
sort of standing there, yeah.
That's fine. All right, I know what I'll be doing in a bit, so yeah, I'll leave it to the rest
Cool.
of you guys.
So we'll do one more room with them, and then we'll bounce to you, and then we'll go to a room to them and bounce to you, so you can be keeping busy outside. Cool, so you guys sort of build up your resolve as best you can, and you're sort of working your way through, and now you're heading towards a staircase that goes up into the upper levels of this house. And actually, while you're on the staircase, you're sort of surprised by the abrupt darkness that shows up, because you were expecting, perhaps in the next room, as has been the trope so far. But no, on the staircase, everything goes black. The lights pop back on, and all of the portraits that are along the wall, all the pictures of sort of families and things, all of the eyes and mouths sprout tentacles, and they start writhing at you, trying to sort of grab at you. So you're actually going to need dexterity saves to avoid getting sort of wrapped up by all of these tentacles.
Fuck.
Doing dex saves, oh good.
Okay, so Elizabeth, you sort of quickly manage to sort of turn off to the side and shake them off and work your way towards the top of the stairs. But Ray and Cord, you guys get kind of wrapped up, so now you need to do either athletics or acrobatics, your call, to try and sort of squeeze out of these tentacles, writhe your way up the stairs. And as you guys are struggling there, you can make your rolls, and then we'll turn back to Finbar outside.
Athletics, look at that.
Yeah, so you two just sort of tear.
Me, gross thing.
Yeah, the Macho Man has no difficulty.
He probably gets out and
Alright,
rips
so-
me out as well.
Oh,
I ain't scared of no ghosts.
fuck's sake.
It's busting time.
Oh god. Okay.
Where
So
would Finbar have gone to after sort of catching his breath outside?
Yeah, so I think it's Ignatius doesn't even make like half a breath in before he rounds on Manfred. And like I think it's the only time that, if the rest of the party were here, probably the only time they've really seen him actively unsettled. And he starts just screaming at Manfred and like calls him every single curse word he knows, and like most of it's like, you freak and pervert and all that jazz, and lays into this guy and demands to see who's in charge, and then alternates that between threatening to burn the building to the ground. Like, it's an appalling little sideshow where you, yeah. And it's a long-ass tirade. I think you get the image that maybe he has seen something that was a little too close to home in some way. I don't know exactly what yet. I'll work that out. But yeah, he lays into this guy.
Manfred's
I don't know exactly.
Just sort of stoically take the berating, which I'm sure he's used to at this point in his career, and he'll pull out a little sort of handkerchief and just say, "Towels," and gesture you to sort of leave with this little hand towel he's produced. The sailors are still there, by the way, and they're kind of chuckling at your expense.
Yeah. I take the hand towel, turn towards the sailors, and go, "This little man right here," I point over my shoulder, "is a disgusting freak, and this house is an abomination. It's not so much scary as it is just terrible. And fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck off." I stride out into the sunlight, and yes, I think kind of spin on the heel and like stare at this building with like intensity of, "I will burn you."
With my
Tiefling
friends inside.
Tiefling heritage is coming through. Yeah, cool.
Cool, right on. So back to the folks inside. You guys make your way up the stairs, albeit against the sort of will of the house, so it seems. And you enter into a sort of large bedroom, sort of four-poster, at least queen size, off to the one side, sort of writing desk in a corner. A large window that's all been boarded up. And again, you have the lights go black, and then they pop back on, but the room looks the same. Nothing has really changed. But you gradually start to hear a sort of growing sound of a woman sort of crying or weeping. And this builds to an excruciating, like, siren just wailing at you for everything you've done to her. So another wisdom save, as this woman just sort of wails from seemingly the afterlife against your living souls.
Another wisdom. Yeah, crap.
All right, so Cord,
Terrifying.
absolutely terrified. The guilt is just racking you. You're just kind of...
I feel so bad for this lovely woman. She reminds me of my mum who was lost in the mines. So this is awful. Mum, I had Manfred, get me out of here.
And you'll hear the sort of pitter-patter on the stairs, and Manfred will pop in from the back and
Thank you.
escort you out again, offering you the same towels that he offered to
Yes, I
Finbar.
need 4. 1 for each of my limbs. I'd like to walk out of here like a bat.
He'll give you two is what he can spare.
That's fine. 2 is fine. 1 for my head, 1 for my waist.
And almost befittingly, we have the only 2 left are the 2 barbarians, the harder, sort of more stoic stock from up north, who sort of survived this. Although you see in the room, the only way out is what looks like some kind of a laundry chute or a sort of trash chute down the one side of the room that seems to go down at least 2 stories. And given that you're only on the 2nd floor, it at least goes into a basement or sub-basement.
Is it like if we peeked in, like, is it straight down or is it at an angle? Like, is it like a slide or is it like a chute?
You can tell that it sort of curves down a little bit, so there is going to be, you're not going to worry about sort of falling 3 stories in that respect, but it is going to be dark where you're going because you don't see any source of light at the bottom. You can't see the shape of a room or the sort of entrance that it opens out to.
After you, Miss Elizabeth.
Okay, so Elizabeth is really upset by this screaming, so she's crying and she goes down the chute.
And Randy, do you wait to see if you hear a reaction from her, or do you follow right behind?
Yeah, I wait.
Okay, she seems to land. You hear her sort of land on what sounds like a lot of pillows or something. There's kind of a soft or muted thud. And Elizabeth, you do seem to land on some type of mound of something soft. I mean, could be feathers, could be sort of straps of cloth and things. But it's completely dark where you are, as you probably expected by this point. And you did go about 2 stories down.
Look out below, Elizabeth.
Now it sounds more like what's his name from Metallica? Hatfield?
Yeah.
I'll have to get the Randy voice back. But yeah, I yell back, like, look out below. There's 300 pounds of Randy coming down the slide.
chute.
Down the chute, yeah.
Give me 4, give me 5, give me 5.
Yeah.
All right, well, you can slide down. Presumably Elizabeth can sort of roll off to make way. And when the lights pop on in this basement, what you see is actually something that you're going to have to describe. Whatever it is that your characters are most afraid of is just filling this room, whether it's snakes, spiders, some type of creature. Maybe it's a horrible memory that you have, something you're ashamed of. Whatever would sort of haunt your nightmares more than anything else is what is in this room, and that's specific to each of you. So a wisdom save after you've described. But give me the description first of what you would see.
Randy would remember, like, specific moments from his barbarian childhood in which he was sort of like a bit of a like a runt, like, as a child, like before he grew into his strength. So just sort of like being like berated and like not necessarily being like as strong as a boy, maybe getting beat up, or the rest of the barbarian boys picking on him or something like that.
Okay, yeah, so you can actually, the lights will come on and you're actually in the midst of getting beaten up by a mob of like 12-year-old strong barbarian boys.
Right. You said make a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, no! No!
Now, You and Elizabeth had both succeeded on the last one, so you don't have to worry about the 2 consecutive, but that's definitely a failure on this count.
I think you're doing great. Look at that.
Okay, and Elizabeth, what would your sort of nightmare room look like?
Oh no.
Well, as a charlatan rogue, her biggest fear is getting caught. So maybe she's like holding her treasure, and someone's like looking right at her, like chasing her.
Okay, I'll say you're standing there, sort of in a room of like a fairly noble, a nobleman's house, so it's fairly well decorated, and you're standing there holding a sort of small bag that you just pulled of jewels. And not only is that nobleman standing there staring at you, pointing his finger, but all around the room you have like judges, like security officials. You just got a whole audience watching you sort of very poorly rob this man. So give me a wisdom save. Oof.
Oh
One's
no!
Elizabeth.
One's all
So
around.
professional.
All right. So again, no long-term consequence. You guys don't have to worry about the exhaustion or anything like that from consecutive fails. But this has been a harrowing experience so far. You've failed a couple times, and sort of in this room, after about 5 or 10 minutes of being either beaten, berated, stared at, you do see the sort of outline of a doorway sort of appear as the room sort of dissolves back into what is just an empty, 4-walled, stone-cellared basement with a large pile of sort of feathered pillows that you had landed on.
I turn to Randy and I say, "Look, I think that's the way out."
Randy runs over and kicks the door. Kicks the door open. Or tries to kick the door open, maybe.
Yeah, no, it is just a cellar door, so it does just open up to a small flight of stairs that leads to the outside of the house out back. And let me just pull up a note here. 1 sec.
After you.
Yeah, he doesn't rest on formalities. He leaves Elizabeth behind him and runs up the stairs very quickly.
Okay, so as you guys head up the stairs, there's a little bell, and there's another man who looks just like Manfred, although you were pretty sure Manfred was at the front of the house. But there's another man in his mid-60s wearing a 3-piece suit with a finely trimmed mustache, and he rings a bell and congratulates you as you make your way out of the house.
I'll be the judge of that.
Brother, I wasn't ever scared. Not for a second. Nothing scares the macho Randy man, the savage man from the savage land. Brother.
Okay, now who between Randy and Elizabeth has the higher passive perception?
I only have a 9. Michelle?
It'll be your 10 plus your wisdom and perception modifiers, or 10 plus your perception.
Michelle, your mic.
My wisdom is -1.
Should be 9 as well then.
Yeah, they're tied. We both have a 9.
Okay, so you're both tied for 9. You'll both hear this. As you guys are making your way around to the front of the house again, and right before or right after this, we'll cut to Finbar consolidating cord or vice versa, however that's working, outside front. As you guys are making your way around the house to get back out front, you do hear off sort of a couple alleys down the way to your right. You hear a bit of an argument. There's a bit of a scuffle going on. And you're only able to pick out a couple words. Your passive perceptions aren't outstanding, but you hear, something about, you know what he did, you know what he was doing. He did it to all of them. Sort of muffled noises, and then you just hear about waiting for the signal. Wait for the signal. We'll do it during the finale, and that's all you hear from this tiff or tuffle in the back alleys as you make your way to the front of the house.
Ooh la la.
Okay.
And so Finbar and Cord, how did you guys meet up out front again, both having pulled pole there?
Probably crying with a towel around his waist and one around his neck. Actually, one has his dreads up and his blonde dreads are just up and wrapped with the towel in it. Like, you just get out of the shower and he's crying.
Impressive levels of artistry are happening just as if on autopilot while you're just crying.
This is just so...
Yeah. Ignatius is just shaking with rage and staring at... He's less afraid and more just actually angry at this place's very existence. So I think he doesn't really have a nice word to spare at first. I think he made a little, eventually, Thimmel's kind of mutterings and splutterings. He wanders around and cracks through, and he's like, "It's okay, Thimmel. We're gonna find the others once they get out of this stupid sideshow, and then we'll go I don't know, find something fun to do.
I
or
didn't even
burn that
realize
place
you
to the
made it
ground.
out. When did you get out?
So how did I get out?
Yeah, when? When did that happen?
Remember the room full of dead children?
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up. Okay.
Oh,
All right.
okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not a fan.
They had me at the room. And let's go wait at the exit.
Do we hear? I think at this point, nothing scares Randy. So we're like the other side of the building.
That's your cue. Yeah, almost as if on cue.
Yeah, just like, right this way.
It's probably over here. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you guys can reconnect on the side of the house there.
I mean, I think it's obvious from the RP, but like basically Randy's bravado like is covering up all these neuroses.
Yeah.
You know, and like in the situations where like it actually like the going gets tough, like we just saw in the basement, like he put himself in front of Elizabeth to get out. So Randy's covering for a lot of inner demons.
Neither a gentleman nor a scholar.
Nope.
But would claim to be both.
So I'll give you guys the rest of what's going on in the fairgrounds to sort of save the circuit through.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an open, meant to be, at least for the majority of the session, kind of a sandboxy. You guys can choose which entertainments you want to engage in. The big show is going to be in sort of several hours, presuming you arrived at the fairgrounds sort of just after noon. So there's lots to see and do. So like I said, there's plenty of different games, some that are, typical carnivalesque, hit the anvil with the hammer. You can win drink tickets, food tickets. There's obviously lots of other patrons waiting in lines at each of these activities. There's a man selling what he claims to be deathly hot spiced sauce, so like a hot sauce that no one's stomach can handle. There's a little sort of activity booth with mounted straw bolts, crossbows that you sort of shoot down the little cardboard goblins as they go across the hill. So lots of little games if you wanted to win some food or drink tickets to get some free grub. And then as far as buildings or major activities to do, like I said, there's the gambling house. Which attached to it on the side actually has an amateur boxing ring as well, where there's lots of people sort of throwing wagers to sort of wrestle and fight one another in the den there. There's a brothel that has kind of a dance arena on the main floor, so there's sort of an erotic fixture as well there. And there's an opium den as well. So again, on the sort of seedier part.
Okay. So we can win like food tickets to get food by playing like the mini games.
Food tickets, drink tickets. Some of them actually, there's prizes for coin. There's little like carved things you can win. Little, I imagine stuffies and that sort of thing.
Did we get anything for making it through the haunted house?
Well, he rang the bell, and so you guys now have the sort of, I guess, the ability to say and boast that you made it through the house, but that one doesn't actually provide any kind of prize.
Okay. So I think Ignatius, like maybe only Thimmel sees it because the other two aren't exactly observant. But Ignatius's eyes linger on the hot sauce stand, then flicks over to Elizabeth, flicks over to like the food ticket winning games, and just kind of goes, "Thimmel, let's go shoot some goblins."
You don't plan on dumping that hot sauce on her, are you?
I have no idea what you're talking, and I'm already gone.
That's gonna be awful.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and win some food tickets. Is my plan.
I mean, we get tickets for food, and we go eat food with tickets. You have to win to eat. This is awful.
Well, Thimmel, we could pay, but as we all know, paying is for some.
We don't pay. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
We have our weapons. Do we somehow get our weapons in here?
Yeah, you guys have all.
Yeah.
You guys have all your kit.
Great.
So,
Randy wants to throw down some fisticuffs, man. He's all about that boxing ring.
Yeah, Elizabeth wants to go with Randy to the. I guess the boxing is at the gambling house.
Yeah, so the gambling house has like a main building that has cards and dice and that kind of thing, and then onto the side there's like a side room that's just like a dirty sand pit with a bunch of people screaming around like a half-height wood banister.
Okay, she wants to go to the gambling house with Randy, and while he's kind of boxing, she's gonna check out the gambling tables.
Cool. All right. I'm now like I think I'm seeing Randy going towards the fighting pit, and my like watching Mr. Macho beat the shit out of something is like,
I've seen this before.
Like
and I
pivot on one foot. Yeah, I think yeah. Ignatius goes like, you see like the numbers racking up in his head, and like on one side it's seeing Macho box, on the other side it's I can totally rig some gambling on this, because his as a charlatan, his preferred con is running bullshit games of chance. So he'll totally try and rig that in his
Pretty
favor.
much
So I think
spot on,
he
yeah.
kind of spins, and you think maybe Thimmel's like, you see him look over towards the hot sauce stand again, and like shakes with like, I
Longingly.
no, and goes over towards the boxing ring.
So
Hey,
Elizabeth,
Mitch, is it okay
Go
if I
ahead.
step away for just a second? Just gotta grab a drink.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, BRB.
so Elizabeth turns to Ignatius and she's like, "Come on, let's go, clear these gambling tables."
Sounds delightful, dear.
And Cord,
And I
what
think he holds
tables
out his
you
hand. Is that
fancy, I
5
guess?
gold on whoever gets the most?
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Betting on the betting, it's getting meta.
Yeah. betting on which one of us can cheat more people. Yeah, cool. So and I guess that just leaves what does Thimmel do, or is
Sorry. I'm trying to decide if he wants to go watch the fairground or look for an eating competition. He's probably going to keep his eye out for some sort of eating competition.
Okay.
He's like, well, if there's hot sauce, there must be something for the hot sauce to go on. And oh my God, if I could eat and win, this will be great. And he's probably going to look around
I'll say
as
there's
he's kind of
definitely-
moseys on over to following everybody, but kind of just keeping an eye out.
Yeah, I'll say you'll definitely spot, like, kind of attached to the hot sauce stand. There's sort of a long table spread out, but they seem to be setting up, so there's nothing sort of
Pie
running
eating
right now.
contest. Okay.
Yeah, and we'll say there's the
Yeah.
sweet or the savory option. So there's the
boy.
pie eating option, or there's we'll say chicken wings with the various sauces, although not quite as hot as the sort of competitive hot sauce eating.
Oh my God. Hey, let's watch this for a bit, and we promise we will pop over to the pie.
no, absolutely. I would not derive you of your chance to eat an ungodly amount of pie.
Thank you. I knew I liked you.
I know, it's because I'm great.
Because you're great.
It's true. It's true.
Now let's go
Everyone
watch.
says that.
Let's go watch a strong man beat someone's face in, shall we?
It's gonna be fantastic.
It's gonna be fun. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it's not me.
Yeah, I think I arrive and then immediately like start moving through the crowd around the boxing pit and shit chatting Randy because I'm trying to raise the odds on him.
Okay.
So I basically said, "Oh yeah, that guy. You should see the way he walks. You can just tell from his posture. He's got a gammy leg. Like he's never gonna do well." And then the next person's like, "Heard him earlier coming out the House of Horrors. Cried like a bitch. Terrible. Shouldn't down him. Absolutely rubbish." And then I move through the crowd, spreading rumors about how he's not very good, and then I guess try and go make bets with the same people afterwards.
Sure, no worries. So I'll say when you enter in, there's a fight ongoing. So there's looks to be sort of late teen, early 20s human male, and he's sort of wrestling on the ground with what looks like a very competent grappling halfling. And this halfling seems to be holding his own, even considering the size difference. So that's sort of ongoing. There's lots of people shouting and screaming, banging on a banister, and that sort of thing. So lots of space for you to sort of maneuver and chat.
Wheel and indeed deal. Cool.
Now, Elizabeth and Core, did you guys want to go into the boxing ring proper? Not the ring, but the sort of space for the boxing, or
Yeah.
were you wanting to more linger and mingle around the actual sort of card tables and things?
No, he's gonna hang out and walk and watch and probably follow along with Finbar or Ignatius, excuse me.
Cool. Elizabeth, you said you wanted to work the tables a little bit, work the dice maybe.
I think Elizabeth, upon seeing everyone else lingering in the boxing area, she's gonna take the opportunity to try to see if she can pickpocket a few people.
Yeah, right on. Give me some sleight of hand rolls. Ooh, okay. So right away on your first sleight of hand, you're gonna have, although you almost managed to pull it out, but I guess there's so many men sort of bumping into each other and fumbling around with all the screaming over the fight that as you sort of catch on the guy's belt and you try to pull his coin purse, he just kind of thinks it's someone bumping into him, so he just kind of elbows you away, but he doesn't actually think he was being pickpocketed. So
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Pardon me.
thought it was an accident. So you can try again if you like. No scuffle has come out of it. Yet.
Ignatius like strides past. and then moves
Okay.
on to his next mark.
I'll kind of try to move to a different area and pickpocket someone else.
Right on. Give me roll 1d100.
Here's-
Holy crap! I should stop working this gambling thing. That sounds amazing.
Do we have a D100?
If you just-
Yeah, you can just slash R space 1d100.
Oh.
Okay, so you get 12 silver pieces, and you get a drink ticket
Ooh. Okay.
from an unfortunate, unsuspecting man. So obviously, Randy, you're getting some eyes as you're walking around. People are starting to look at you a little bit. You think someone actually does like a handful sort of grab of like your flank to kind of see the tautness of your flank. But again, there's so many people bumping around. Who knows what's going on?
Yeah.
So you're starting to get some eyes. You see some talking. People are probably already putting bets on Randy, even though he hasn't voiced interest explicitly yet.
Can I make a quick pass by Randy and go, I am sorry for what I'm about to say, and I believe none of it. You're the best, and I appreciate you as a great human being. And then I want to
Ignatius.
and then I'd like to make a deception roll to basically disseminate the rumor that he has a wasting disease through the crowd to just destroy his odds.
All right, give me that deception.
Okay. 1 second, I just want to check something because I might try and. Oh, my false identity is I'm a health and safety inspector. I was gonna see if I could bullshit that as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Lucis excellence. But I don't think I can quite pull it off in time. So, give it a deception. 11. Ah!
I'll say you convince some of the more drunk patrons, but it's definitely not sort of catching the crowd like wildfire.
Yeah.
So I turn to Ignatius and I say, I already got 12 silver, and I hand him my drink token. I say, you can have this as like a pity token. And then I say, this is how it's really done. And I try to yell out the same thing, try to spread rumors about Randy.
All right, so if we'll say Finbar was saying that he had some type of degenerative disease, and you're saying that he's actually just got horrible arthritis or something, so just his own.
His wrists are secretly broken.
I was
just destroying the reputation of our friend.
I would try to get Randy in on it, but I don't think he's bright enough to figure it out.
I'll say, actually, Randy, if you can describe some way that you would help perform or demonstrate being horribly arthritic, then you can give advantage to the deception roll.
I just want to say we had
the
a
macho man willing to fake
we just had a £5 donation.
Ooh.
Yeah, thank you so much. What? I lost it. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. Thank you, Ingy, so much for the £5 donation. This is 5 inspirations towards Finbar.
Yes!
Yes.
Singing!
Yes. So,
Dude, you can force 5 situations. That's awesome.
yeah. So you roll double. For those who don't know what inspiration is, you roll twice and take the highest on pretty much any roll. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I think. Okay, cool. I'm not going to do anything right now about people doing stuff, but yeah. Thank you,
cool.
You're the best.
I think Randy kind of under his breath to Elizabeth and Ignatius is like,
But the Randy man can't. I can't do it. I can't see anything like that.
Randy, it's fine. It's fine. All we need you to do is go out there and be your majestic self. You beautiful, wonderful, glorious human being you are. You're going to beat the ever-living shit out of those fuckers. You see that heart in there? I expect to be half the size when you're through. Half the size! Yeah! Yeah, I'm just trying to keep, Randy from showing off at this point. It goes against every instinct Ignatius has, but I want to keep him from showing off so we can take advantage of destroying his odds.
I'll say between Finbar and Randy trying to milk up this arthritic story, you can have advantage on this deception roll, Elizabeth.
Okay. Ooh.
Which comes in handy. All right, so the arthritic barbarian starts to turn some heads, and you see a bunch of people sort of quickly start talking to one another. Money's exchanging hands back and forth.
Okay.
There are bets being put down. The problem being that no one has really stepped up yet to fight Randy.
Can I make a perception check to know the people who are betting? Like, I want to find the people who are betting on Randy as his odds decrease, like his odds go terrible, because I'm going to try and pickpocket their betting stubs.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And because I just got a crap ton of them, I guess I'll use one of my inspirations.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
perception.
better.
I get 12.
All right, I'll say you can identify one patron who's sort of done some rounds. He's sort of dinging in 3 or 4 times, putting in a couple bets with different people. He's sort of a middle-aged man, got kind of 3-4 days worth of stubble and a bit of a bald patch on the top of his head, and he's kind of circulating a bit.
Keep an eye on him. And then I guess I go over to Elizabeth and like, we need to find someone that Randy can beat the shit out of, but is doing well enough that the bets are going to go in our favor. Help. Kind of Jet. You're muted, dear. Sorry.
Sorry. So Elizabeth looks around to try to find an acceptable opponent for Randy.
Yeah, I'll say, I mean, no perception required.
Okay.
You can see at the back of the room, there's a fairly large-looking half-orc gentleman standing there who's kind of got the sides of his head shaved with that kind of mohawk tuft of hair down the center, kind of braided back. And he's standing there with his arms crossed and just sort of keeping to himself. You haven't seen him talk to anyone yet. He doesn't seem to be with anybody. But he was just there watching the fights.
So I turned to Ignatius and I said, "There's our meal ticket. Let's go get him."
Yeah, I think you get one of Ignatius's classic like hat sweeps and gestures, "After you, my dear," and then like follows in your footsteps. And yeah, I guess we attempt to persuade this man. I don't know. I guess I'll go in with the I'll be all gushing and say, "Oh, you could totally take that crazy barbarian," and you give him the bad. I'll be good cop, you be bad cop.
Okay.
He can never totally do it in a million years, and I'll be like, "Oh no, you're great. You should totally try." And yeah, got it. Cool,
Okay,
cool.
should I approach first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right. So I go up to
Arguing
this
with you is second nature.
I go up to the half orc and I hear, I hear there's some human barbarians who thinks he's gonna go into this next round. I don't even think you could take him on.
Kind of looks down at you a little bit and horks a bit of a loogie on the floor. He clearly was
Ew.
working it out of somewhere for a while before you got there. And he's going to say, "Who barbarian?" He's kind of looking around. He's not sure who you're talking about.
Yeah, I think Ignatius. Oh,
Hello?
Like Randy, are
Okay.
you like massively large?
Yeah, he's like 6'10". Yeah, like 6'10", like
Okay, so yeah, you're
300
fucking enormous.
300 pounds. Yeah.
Okay, so the barbarian will sort of, or the half-orc will, rather than say, who barbarian, he's going to sort of head nod towards Randy and say, him over there.
I said, yeah, that guy. He's not as tough as he looks. He's just...
You can tell that this half-orc doesn't quite believe you. He's kind of... He's a little anxious about how big Randy is. So roll a persuasion, and if you want to jump in there, Finbar, and sort of do the double team good bad.
Ignatius kind of like, I think he sweeps his hat off, goes into his little bag like satchel and pulls out like a silk cravat and ties it around his neck like some kind of. He's going for fancy businessman, and then just joins as like walks past, affecting his most like upper class gait, and then turns like. My good God, I've never seen such fighting stock before. Snaps his fingers at Philman and is like, "Philman, over here. We must sign this man immediately." And I like lay it on thick of like, I'm like literally, I wander over, like grab his arm. I'm like, "Oh my God, this is majestic. And I turn to him, "I've not seen the likes of this since the Undertaker himself." Oh, and I'm a lay it on thick of how this guy is evidently the greatest fighter who's ever been and ever will be.
All right, well, I'll say that's more than enough to give advantage to Elizabeth's persuasion there. So 11 is enough. Like he's sort of considering it, but now he's kind of looking around to see who's betting because obviously he wants to put a bet down. He wants to come out of this with a little bit of cash. So he's going to do some rounds and he'll say, okay, like when the barbarian's in, I'll step toe with him. and he's now looking to see where he can place bets on himself.
Okay. I just ask him like, what name do you go by?
He'll look down to you and say, Turnog.
Turnip.
Turnog.
Turnog. Right. Sorry, my hearing. Not what it was. One too many huffs. We need to spice that up. Turnog the Ferocious, Turnog the Magnificent.
Turnog
what do we think?
Terrible?
Turnog the Terrible. The naming sense is as good as your biceps, my good sir. I shall return. And I like run over. Is there like an announcer? If there is an announcer, I'm fine filling in.
Yeah, no, it's more just whoever's the loudest would generally step in to call it out.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna like pop several uses of thaumaturgy on to like pump my voice up over the crowd, and I like just before I do, I'll give Elizabeth a quick thing like make sure Randy's in position, and then over to Phil and I like hand him 5 gold from my pouch to Phil and go, put this on whoever has the terrible odds for us to like when we win the most money on Randy.
Glimmer Gamer, thank you so much for following. If you haven't clicked follow, like Glimmer Gamer, go for it. When we get to 550, we've actually reached 500 today, but when we reach 550, we will have a viewer decision. So hop on the bandwagon and play with us. It's a lot of fun, guys. Thanks so much, Glimmer Gamer. As you were.
Yeah, so I hand you 5 gold from my pouch and say, go put this on Randy. Find me the way I win the most money. I believe in you. And then, as I've kind of dispersed, I leap into, like, the center of the ring, and I presume the fight already in there is done?
Yeah, the halfling one.
Yeah. And I spin around, and, like, what does Ignatius say? Okay, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, every fight you have seen so far today has purely been a warm-up to the titanic collision that you shall see now. In the one corner, the savage man from the savage land, Randy the Macho Man, will face off against the titanic, the terrible, the ferocious. And his brain obviously like, Turnip the Terrible. Like I'm gonna keep going. Like it's I'll list off completely false weights, how their training histories under esteemed masters. That time one of them hunted a T-Rex. The other one lifted a mountain with his bare hands. It gets steadily crazy. I'm whipping up as much hype and betting frenzy as I can. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Eternal Charge, for that follow. You're awesome. I didn't forget about you. Just had to wait for a break in the monologue. But thank you so much. No, don't be sorry. You were in the middle of something.
Randy's sort of like chomping at the bit. It was like sort of very difficult for him to like not already be grandstanding. Like so, he listened to Ignatius, but the whole time he's standing in the corner, just getting pumped, and he's ready to get in the ring.
Yeah, and Randy, I'll say, through this monologue, there's already like a pretty steady crowd around you that's kind of starting to cheer you on. They're putting some money on you, and that's not quite as many as those that are cheering for Turnog. Obviously, they've seen Turnog fight. You're the new one on the block, and that arthritis. I mean, it's gotta come into effect some way.
Can I use my speed? I will layer like the stories I'm telling about Randy with like things he's told me about, and like presumably Randy's told me like a gajillion stories that are totally fake about his prowess.
Sure.
We just
are you trying to hype him up?
Yeah, I'd like to basically give him one of my inspiration dice for his fight.
We love that.
Yeah, we just had a donation. I'm not sure how to go back to the. There we go. This is from Brewstone. He donated £8. Put this towards naming the ringmaster after the saltiest scourge ever to sail the waters, Blue Lock. You know who I mean. Rose and theirs. And here's a cool 400 pounds Comic-Con hype. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, yeah. So I would like to give one of my inspiration dice.
Thank you so much.
To Randy for his fight.
Randy, you can have advantage on the athletics your roll when we finally get into this fight. What I'll say, we'll go to chords. A chord, you're trying to find the best odds. You're trying to place that 5 gold bet for Finbar there. And I'll say you can find 10-1 that the arthritic barbarian is going to win, because people aren't really, they're really concerned about that arthritis, right? So
yeah, they're like, oh, arthritis. What is, that sounds bad, but I don't know what it is. All right.
Well, the health inspector told us about it, so.
Yeah, it's true. He said, it means it's when storm's coming. It's when your knees start to ache. Yeah, so yeah, he's gonna try to get one of those, but try to like pass off one of those, I guess, bets. But he's also gonna go up and kind of give a motivational speech towards Randy, and while doing so, blessing him with his god. I don't know if I picked a god. So,
We're laying on the buff stick.
laying on the buffs. So yeah, he rolls saving throws and attack rolls. He rolls an additional d4 towards the bonuses towards hitting. I think I'm going to do a Cleric of Cord because just to, not the fact that my name is Cord, but we got a new follower today named Cleric of Cord, and I'm just thinking of him. So I'm going to bless him with the god and the blessing of the athletic god of Cord. And he's like, hey, macho. I just wanted to tell you that I'm really proud of you, and you've never met this guy, and you really want to beat him up, don't you? I mean, yeah, I see you fired up. I mean, I as myself and a scholar, I have never been so mad to fight somebody I've never met, but you seem to be, here, this is for you. And you like kind of feel like a warming radiance on your back, and he's like, do this for the god of Cord. He's watching upon you.
So Randy immediately feels like a serious swole coming along.
Yeah, it's a
serious swole.
Do you have like a balm or anything, or some sort of ointment?
Oh, this definitely has to come in the form. This comes in the form of some kind of like an oil, definitely.
Yeah, I'd be like
massaging you down with like this radiance. It's actually icy hot, and you just think it's radiant energy, and I'm just like, you're doing great. Here you go.
Meanwhile, Cord keeps like a bottle of like the god cord of inspiration in a tube in his pouch to just kind of rub
that's
on
really what it is. This is fun. Literally rubbing it on thick. This is the god of Cord. It's just a tube of athletic paste. There you go.
You have to like fold up the end these days.
Yeah, exactly.
Randy's been stealing it from your pack at night.
I'm using this I haven't used this much. All right, so yeah.
Yeah, so Randy's getting all oiled up there, and Turnog is sort of building up a bit of a following himself. He's sort of rallying people up. He's sort of growling here and there. He's sort of picking a couple people up and showing that he can kind of shoulder press them over his head and that sort of thing. So he's building his little entourage of betters behind him as well.
Yeah. Oh, like can we
now,
can we have some sort of mechanical way to see how long Randy can hold his tongue? I feel like he would be getting really hard for him right now.
I mean, like I will kind of gesture over in the direction of like Elizabeth and Randy, and like kind of, I think me and Elizabeth both being con men probably have some limited level of thieves' cant. So I just give a quick flick, like get the fuck over here. And yeah, as soon as Randy's over me, I'm like, your time to shine, buddy. Clap him on the back.
Yeah, I mean, Randy, they've already placed the bets, so you can get all fiery whenever you like without much to be lost. So.
Are we in the ring yet? Are we sort of like, maybe I'm getting this little massage in the corner, like?
Yeah, you guys can be in the ring, it's a loose term, it's just like a sand-floored room that's got a bunch of dust everywhere, and then there's kind of like a 3-foot sort of bar top banister in a circle, and that's about it.
Seventh Son, thank you so much for the follow. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Welcome to the adventure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Seventh Son. I'm the Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour. I'm funky like a monkey, sky's the limit and space is the place. Too hot to handle, too cold to hold. The madness is running wild. Yeah. I'm Randy the Savage man from the Savage Land.
Yeah, like I will activate Thaumaturgy, and like best I can time it.
I give you inspiration.
Yeah. Best I can time it, I hit like a floor rumble with every word, and like on every big emphasis I like double it, and like I'm already bolstering his voice because I have 3 of these effects live, like a prestidigitating like smoke and puff stuff, but I'm trying to do it without showing my hands because I don't want to show the ringleader as a favorite.
Sure.
Yeah. And then yeah, I guess
cool.
The last thing I do is I retreat from the ring. Oh well, I guess I'm starting the fight now because I'm in charge.
Yeah, you'll be kicking it off with a clap whenever you so choose. But Turnog's sort of doing his little half circle back and forth. You and Randy have kind of established who's starting on which side. He's doing his rounds of high fives. But Randy, after your little monologue, you see some sort of uncomfortable, nervous stares in the pit around the ring. People are starting to wonder maybe they shouldn't have placed those bets against you. Maybe the arthritis is like not that bad today. Who knows what
It's a
that
pretty
cream
sunny
was?
day.
It's all that balm.
Is it like an arthritis? Is that an
Clear
arthritic
day.
cream?
Doesn't look like
I
the
walk up. I think just to fuck with people, I walk up next to Randy and I just hold my hand out in front and kind of aim for him to do the same thing, and he's steady as a rock. It's like, and then just look over at some people like.
All right, Finbar, kick off this fight whenever you like.
Yeah, so I kind of like bring them forwards, stand in the middle. It's like, right, a nice clean fight. Honor your gods, your ancestors, and most of all, honor me. Ready? And then I like swing down, like fight, and back up to the other side of the ring, and make a beeline for the guy I know betted on Randy.
Okay, so how we'll resolve, rather than sort of a boxing match back and forth like Rock'em Sock'em Robots of unarmed punches, Randy, you're going to give me like a series of athletics checks, and you'll have inspiration on the first one given to you from Finbar, and then I'll give you inspiration on the second one as well, as a way of sort of translating the cord sort of muscle bomb cream that Cord gave you there.
Yeah,
That's right.
So-
You get that.
Just roll 2.
Yeah, so you need to succeed 3 out of 5 athletics rolls against this guy's pre-rolled athletics, and you've got advantage on the first 2. So
All right.
Hashtag cord cream.
Whoa.
athletics.
Oh shit.
Things are getting real.
All right, that's still good.
Well, I mean,
yeah, you know what? On that, I mean that'll count for 2. So unless you fail, even with an advantage on the next one,
got 4 chances, buddy. I had faith in you.
yeah. So you're wiping the floor with this guy, and you can describe that however you like. Started off with like a really big initial crack somehow to give sort of weight behind that crit.
Maybe so I just throw like this really super huge fist, and maybe shit. I don't know enough about.
Larry at him.
This is more of a this is more boxing than like wrestling.
Well,
right?
it's kind of a bare knuckle amateur show.
Yeah.
So I'm okay if you want to take 2 minutes to like look up Randy Savage's signature moves and like throw some of those in.
You're
That's
dominating
fine.
so hard. He tries to box, and you're like doing pure showboating.
No, I
Yeah,
want to just like if we're fighting like especially like if it's like a circle like the way I imagine sort of like Fight Club like if there's a circle of people around us.
Yeah.
I want to use the people as the turnstile like the rope sort of like let them throw me and then run across and start it off with a clothesline. That's going to be the first blow.
Sounds good, and he'll do like almost a full rotation, like flipping around and kind of land crunched on his shoulder there.
And jeez. And then I have a second. Do I have 3 I can do or 2?
Oh, you can describe. I mean, you've won. I mean, you succeeded. The critical success counted as 2 towards your 3 out of 5, and then your 17 was a success.
Yeah, I don't know
You
enough
win the
about-
fight. You can just describe
Yeah.
how you beat this guy.
Okay, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly, but like it definitely sort of taking his time. Like he probably knew after the first sort of round of blows or exchange of blows that he could take this guy, but he's like he's stretching it out as long as he can, and just like putting him in holds and dropping elbows and
Yeah, I mean, this can get bloody. I mean, these kind of fights, you saw with the halfling, it's kind of the first person to tap out loses, and that's it. Sometimes people pass out. Sometimes they don't make it out of here alive once in a while. So, yeah, have your fun.
Yeah, I think so. Like after sort of toying around with him for a while, I'd end it with a choke. I'd end it with a choke, and then I'd stand up. And I'd say,
Best there ever was. Past, present, and future. Oh, yeah, brother.
Keep an eye on the future.
Let's hear it for Randy.
All right, there's sort of not, like mixed reception. You don't quite get the riotous cheer you're expecting, mostly because a lot of people lost a shitload of money. But now there are a ton of new bets starting to be placed.
Yeah.
People are just sort of frantically. I mean, the dust is sort of raising. It's getting kind of musty in here.
May I make my my sleight of hand check to pickpocket this guy of his Randy ticket?
Yeah,
I want
sure.
to claim 2 bets. Okay.
Do you still have an inspiration from the donator? The donation.
I do, so I will use that as well. Come on. Ignatius needs a new pair of shoes. Got a 10.
Ooh, okay. Thankfully, that inspiration avoided the crit one. That could have been Harry.
Yeah.
So 10, same thing as Elizabeth. Not good enough for you to actually pull that for yourself, but not horrendous enough that he's going to know he was nearly pickpocketed again with all the commotion.
Yeah.
So.
I think I immediately lose it, and then I make a beeline for Elizabeth, and I go, I'll give you a good mark. I'll split 50-50 with you. Old guy there, get the batting ticket in his pocket.
I roll my eyes and I'm like, amateur, and I go over and try to pickpocket him.
All right, you guys are aware that there will be consequences if you are caught trying to pickpocket.
I
saying you've been
assume
pretty successful so far.
Yeah, I assumed I've already failed, so I'm gonna turn this one over. It's very much a choice. Like,
yeah,
I'm
no
not saying
pressure.
you have to, but yeah.
As a group, you guys already won your 50 gold on that 5 to 10 there. So
Yeah. Oh no! As a group, I'm sorry. 12 silver to 50 gold.
well, yeah, that's true, I suppose. Although Cord made the bet, so I don't know if Cord's going to be negotiating to get his cut there.
Okay, I'm happy to give Cord a cut.
And maybe pay Randy like a little bit, or buy him a sandwich, buy him a turkey leg.
I'll buy him a fucking turkey.
Yeah, he's so big. Like, instead of eating like a turkey, like he literally has, like, he's palming a turkey, and he's like super pumped. Like that made his day.
Cool.
All right, so Cord, actually, I'm going to jump to Cord for a second.
All right.
So while you're sort of standing there enjoying the fight, however you are, after you sort of take in the cash, you're going to be approached by a very sort of small, kind of Weasley-looking man. He's wearing pretty torn, ratty clothes. He's got a pretty strong smell of body odor. This guy's clean very much. His teeth are kind of rotting.
Smells like you've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for 18 hours now.
But he's definitely, not older than 20, 25 maybe, so he's still a fairly young man.
Okay.
And he's going to kind of weasel his way up to you. You've been noticing him throughout the fight. He was kind of eyeing you. He'd look over and sort of look at Randy and look to Finbar and then back to you. And he kind of walks up to you and sort of nods his nose or his head towards Randy and say, you know the savage man from the Savage Lands?
I do.
He's a good fighter. That was
Looks like
fast.
that. Right? Seems that way. What you getting at?
Yeah. And so this guy's really awkwardly trying to slime his way into asking you something, and he asks if
You a
you'd be
slimy
willing to-
weasel, aren't you? You wet rat.
He's going to ask, are you guys going to be here for a couple more fights? I mean, I've got an idea. If you want to, I mean, we're going to be talking about it, like another bet maybe with your friend.
Probably. We could probably do something like that. What you thinking? I mean, this whole fight makes me anxious because I see my friend get into a fight. And, you want to speak with I've got a friend who is more of a talking guy. I could introduce you to him. You want that? What's your name?
Okay.
What's your name?
He's going to say his name's Baron.
Baron.
When you mention talking to someone else, he gets kind of.
Oh, it's okay.
close
It's
and
okay. I get scared around new people too. Come on. I'll find him for you.
He'll kind of patter behind you awkwardly, wringing his hands together.
And just like, don't worry, nobody needs to know we were looking for him. Ignatius! Buddy, hey! I got some guy here who wants to speak to you.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of turn around when I hear was it Philman? Sorry, Thimmel.
Thimmel.
Just quick, did Elizabeth try to pickpocket that guy for his ticket?
She didn't roll. Elizabeth, would you like to try that ticket again?
You mean
Take the risk, take the plunge. Is your mic muted, Elizabeth? Maybe.
Yeah.
Michelle?
Hey, sorry, did I roll?
yes?
Did I roll? Says the 20. Yeah, you got his ticket.
Oh!
Oh, nice.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that'll be another 50 gold.
I turned to Ignatius and I'm like, that's how it's done.
What are we gonna do?
I guess
with
it's
this
like,
gold once the vengeance
well,
over?
Don't say I never give you a good mark. And then I like spin around to go over to where Thilman is. I'm like, put my hand on his shoulder and kind of look down at. So what was this guy he was talking to? Oh, look at this guy he was talking to.
This guy, his name is he still right there? Or did he bolt?
No, he's behind you. He's
Okay,
kind of, he's trying to be inconspicuous.
That gentleman behind me doesn't want to be noticed, but he's the guy who looks kind of like he smells. Guess what he does? His name is Baron. He says he's got an idea for you.
I see.
Or for us, but I mean, for me. But I figured you'd more of the deal and thinker for when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Oh, well, you shouldn't underestimate yourself, man. You're
I mean, I get anxious when we start talking about like things we shouldn't be doing. You know, I just.
It's all good. What odds did you find me on the ticket, by the way?
What?
The little bet. You did put the bet down, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I asked to see we've basically won 50 gold and say, right, do not lose that. Take Elizabeth or Randy with you.
Slip of paper, don't lose it. He got it. He just puts it into like not even a pocket, just somewhere in his cloak and hopes it.
You see Ignatius just like, but God, Thelman, I like you. We will fall out.
He probably falls out when he walks away.
It's like, keep 10 for yourself, give 10 to Randy. I'll take the rest of the winnings for my wonderful hard work.
Right.
And then I spin around, it's like, so Baron, if that is your real name, how can I help?
He's going to kind of look back and forth. You can see he's pretty uncomfortable talking with so many people around or over his shoulder. And he's going to kind of lean in a little bit and try and whisper. And he's
I
just
recognize
gonna
that.
say,
I gesture towards like maybe the tent flap or something.
Sure. Yeah, like you head towards one of the back walls, sort of thing. And he's just going to lean in and say, well, you see, I got in a bit of trouble, and you guys have your big friend here, and I was just wondering if, I don't think he's really got arthritis. You said he had arthritis, and he kind of did the thing, but do you want to fix another fight?
I mean, it depends. I'm a big fan of making large amounts of money, but getting Randy to lose, if that's your intent, may not be worth the expense.
He's going to say, well, I mean, the expense. I mean, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble if I can't pay the expense. But I mean, if we could throw the fight, it would really help. And I got a guy who would make a bet against you, and I just.
I've lost you, buddy. Have we all gone mute again?
I can. Nope.
Good.
I can
Good.
hear
So
you.
good. Back.
There we go.
There you are.
Back, yeah. So
Yeah. So he says, he's in a lot of trouble if he can't, make some money or to put something together real fast. And he's got someone lined up. You wouldn't have to do any of the work. It's all set up. Your friend would just have to, lose.
Elizabeth sees Ignatius talking to this shady character, and she always wants.
I think Ignatius is smiling and is very happy, but it's like it's like someone is trying to offer a con man a deal that is too good to be true.
Yeah,
like,
she's afraid that something's going down, and she wants a cut of whatever's happening. So she comes over to Ignatius and I'm like, what's going on?
Ignatius kind of straightens up and it's like, oh, this man here wants us to try and convince Randy to throw a fight. And apparently all of the difficult work has been taken care for us.
Oh.
I've never had a deal so good. Have you, Elizabeth?
Oh, no. And Elizabeth and Ignatius are very experienced in cons, and they're both very suspicious of this guy.
Speaking of the thing I mentioned at the very beginning of the Blades of the Dark session of looks that manage to convey 1 billion points of information, it's just like, you get that, we take this man for everything he has. So I tell him, so, Baron, Elizabeth is a trusted associate of mine. She will totally be on board. Do fill us in on your plan. How exactly do you intend to achieve this?
Well, he's gonna go on to explain that one of the more famed or prestigious boxers, I guess, who frequents the fairgrounds, is upstairs right now playing cards. And he doesn't usually fight after he's had, and he hasn't lost a match in 6 or 7 months. It's been a long time. He's on a really good hot streak. Sorry, go ahead. We're still good. That didn't cut out.
No, you're good.
Yeah. one of the more famed boxers is upstairs right now, just at the bar, having a few drinks at the card tables. And he usually doesn't box till later in the evening, but Baron explains that he owes this guy a little bit of money, and they might be able to work something out where he'd come down for a match a bit early. But again, he's going to need your friend to lose on purpose to help with, the reputation, the repute, the fame. The guy upstairs. It would be great for him to beat, this savage from the savage lands.
Okay, so I smile and I I say I need just a moment to confer with my concierge, and I pull Ignatius aside. Is Ignatius frozen for anyone else?
Yeah, he is for me.
Finbar, can you hear us? Can you talk?
Yes, he is frozen.
Cord's frozen too.
Oh no, I'm frozen.
Now Michelle's frozen.
84. You're
I'm not frozen. I'm
It's really still.
I'm just staying still.
I'm just super still.
I'm not frozen. Okay, let's recall.
Okay.
And let's hope Will's around to fix the call. Oh, my Skype's broken.
Can I I'm gonna quick bio real quick. I'll be back.
Okay.
While we're recalling.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
so
probably
much,
wanna do
guys.
the same.
For the follows tonight, I was just doing a quick fix here. We got a weird glitch in the old Skype-a-rooney. Is that recall? Is it frozen? Sounds like mine's frozen. Yep.
I'm still seeing Raymond good.
Yeah, my Skype is broken, so let me fix that. All right, I'm gonna close Skype and hope for the best. I'll be back in a minute, I guess. How did you get? What are you? Oh, you can't hear me.
These guys are completely still. I don't know why, but we're working on it. Don't worry, guys. Give us just a couple of seconds. Whilst I'm doing this, let me remind you all that we're doing a Q&A in a couple of hours' time. Get in your questions now at Encounter RP. You can tweet us at Encounter RP or just say some questions in chat and I'll take them down and get them ready to in a few hours. So how are you doing tonight, guys? I was going to get some sleep and I decided completely against it, stay up and watch this with you guys. So everyone's live, don't worry. They're getting back in soon. We're working on the problem. It's the sort of thing once you've been streaming for 14 hours that Skype just suddenly dies like that. Isn't that brilliant, guys? Yeah. I'm calling them back. Hopefully this sorts out their issues. We can't catch a break. You really can't. Give me some questions, guys. In 2 hours' time, I need some questions. Otherwise, I'm going to go to sleep. So anything about D&D would be brilliant. Anything about us in general, me and Sydney are going to be doing some questions for like 3 or 4 hours. So we're going to need some content, guys. I'm going to be sleeping otherwise. Or you can suggest a game that we play or something that we do. But anything, anything, please, because I'm dying. Yeah, literally. Trying to call these guys back. Sit tight, guys. Won't be a second. He says, hopefully. Finn, baby, you're right. Don't die on me yet. Painting War Machine miniatures. Nice. Ah, boys. Let's call him back. No. The call is just refusing to work. Let's track on Mitch. And add everyone else in from there. Oh, my life, boys. My life. Actually, everyone has followed whilst I've been attempting to not be on stream. But it's not appearing to work. Can't connect to Mitch. Linear layers. These guys went, cool, let's just restart Skype, shall we, and see what happens. Let's give that a go. Hashtag his life. Tell me about it, Ingy. Tell me about it. Come on, Skype. Pull through for me, baby. You got another 10 hours in you. You got another 10 hours in you. Here we go. You guys are back. You guys are back.
We're back.
Okay.
Your mom bought you a big cock to set you up.
Well, no. So I wake up at like my first ever morning at my university flat. I wake up. The door is like someone's hammering the door. I go over and this person just throws this big, like square box at me.
Yeah, they did.
And like sign here, sign it, flip it over. It's my mum. It's being delivered to my mum at my address in Nottingham. I'm like,
This is weird.
okay. And then open it and I get a little label
you,
saying,
Amazon Prime.
like, this is a modern art piece called A Little Cock. And I'm like, oh.
Love it. Your mom's awesome. Let's get your mom on stream.
And get her in on the parent game.
And then this
Yeah.
arrived.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so now he sits behind me and streams. And we have had many an evening where people comment upon how the sunlight coming through my window is glinting off my magnificent cock. And
Yeah,
frankly,
it
it makes all of
It
it
looks
work.
a little wet right now. I didn't want to
Yeah,
say anything.
It's glistening. It's excited. It's excited to be on channel.
It's recently just had some cord cream applied to it, actually. So it's
Exactly.
tingling like.
It's tingling.
It's refreshing
throbbing
sea
from
salt,
blessing.
kind of flavor to it. Can't do this. But yeah, so that's why he's Ignatius Cecilius, because you know.
I guess.
Right on.
Gotta work it
So
out.
many layers.
There's
You're like
all
an
of
ogre.
all of the layers to Ignatius. He's a really complicated 3D man.
Will, they say they can't hear us.
That is a disadvantage.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, oh my god. Webcamception. Look at that. Oh my god, you're there, but you were just over there. Up through the internets. Oh, I can see my face through your glasses. This is great.
Oh,
now
God.
I just see a huge eye. This is
Terrifying.
I still
hashtag
can't
late
stop
night.
looking at the wet cock.
Up there.
Ah! Can you hear us, Will? The mic can't stream.
When Will turns into Muldog from being so tired.
You need some caffeine, boy.
It's okay, man. Right
Yeah.
after this, you have 4 more hours. So in total, you have
Yeah, I
6
need-
more hours.
Yep, that's all.
Is
Fuck.
OBS,
My body.
I'm assuming you use OBS, is that like desktop muted?
No. It's I don't know what's happening, to be honest. I don't know if the volume's any better now. The Skype volume says it's at maximum. You guys are maximum everything.
Is OBS volume cranked up? Because
Yeah, I think you're, but yeah, okay. I think that might fix actually. Mate.
yeah, Skype auto knocks it down when you rejoin a call, as I have
Classic Skype.
discovered. Because Skype is a piece of shit.
Yes. F you, Skype.
Unfortunately, it's the only one that does group video calls at any decent quality. But other than that, it's just awful.
We should
If you
look
do
at
Google
it.
Hangouts, you have to deal with that annoying thing where one face will pop into large and then go back down again.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing else does decent video quality. Oh, it's just so.
Hey, it's live production.
That's
results,
better.
man.
There we go.
I haven't
We're
Never
doing it
mind.
live, boys. I'll leave you to it for a bit.
Doing it
Yeah,
dry.
fuck it, we're doing it live. Doing it
Thank
dry.
you. Thank you, Will. Brains have been so eagerly handed back over to Mythomatic with exhausted Will's hands. There you
My
go.
body.
These are for you.
All right,
yes.
so we're good. We're
So
live.
back.
Did you hear us
Everything
now?
seems to be good.
We
Okay, so
returned.
I think
Alright,
we
so-
were just. Oh yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Chad, for
just
hanging
so
in there.
quick little recap there. Baron, our watery weasel, is trying to sort of organize this sort of throne fight where Randy's going to throw a fight against sort of one of the more famous fighters who hangs around quite a bit, Baron explains that he owes that fighter quite a lot of money. So this deal, you can have whatever winnings you can make on the bet. He doesn't want the winnings. He just knows that he can sort of absolve himself from this other fighter, Brandon, if he can sort of arrange a fight for Brandon to look even better.
Okay.
So yeah, me and Ignatius are discussing privately about what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Oh dear, am I frozen again?
Nope, you're good.
Okay, cool.
No, you're good.
Can I give it just a quick insight roll just to see whether he's telling
Yeah,
the truth?
definitely.
Is he actually desperate, or is he trying to con the con man? And I believe I have 2 inspiration left, so I will expend again because.
Oh Jesus.
All right, 16. That's definitely enough. You're tracking that. Not only is he telling the truth, but he's probably in a lot more debt and/or trouble with Brandon than he makes it sound like. Like, it sounds like he's physically afraid to talk to Brandon or be near Brandon unless he has some type of solution for whatever it is that he owes.
Yeah. I think there's almost a moment of like Ignatius's weird moral center of like, you remind me of me when I wasn't good at what I do. He kind of turns around, and I think, yeah, Elizabeth, you're getting that sense of like, do we have to rip this one off?
I tell Ignatius that I know Randy pretty well, and I don't think he's gonna lose a fight on purpose.
Okay. Ignatius kind of like leans back a bit.
Maybe there's another way we can try to help this guy out
Yeah,
while making money for ourselves, of course.
I give the look, like that look of like, the bear's shit in the woods. Come on. I spin back to Baron. It's like, how much money do you owe this, what's his face, fancy boxer?
There's
Don't
There's
shit
the
me
goal.
now. You can't con a con man. Don't even try.
So he spits out that there's this issue of the 125 gold, but then there's also his brother that like Baron may have accidentally sort of not sort of picked up at the port when he was supposed to, and then there was some kind of bandit issue or something, I guess, and his brother kind of died. So there's a couple things sort of between him and Brandon that are a little more than just the gold, I guess.
I think you see Ignatius just like, it's like a temple massage going. Why did you not take said 125 gold, buy a horse, and just run? This would seem smarter after you get his brother killed.
Yeah, you're gonna see sort of you've spent the last 5 or so minutes talking with him. You can see the kind of looks that Baron gets from the other people in this sort of little pit down here. He doesn't seem well liked or well respected, although a lot of people seem to have a particular look that they reserve for Baron. So he must frequent this place enough that you're getting the vibe. And this is sort of crossover from your 16 inspiration. He gambles way too much on these fights, and not with any degree of aptitude.
Ay vey.
Maybe
People shouldn't
we
chase, Baron.
Maybe we could try to go over to the gambling tables and help our friend
Win his money?
teach him a few tricks.
I think, okay. I've been my point, like, right, you stay with Elizabeth, do anything crazy, I need to collect some stake money, and I wander off to find Thilman and get my 30 gold, so I can try and teach this man the ways of not being lame at gambling.
Before Ignatius leaves, I have the extra ticket that I pickpocketed from someone else. I give that to him too. Here, go collect this. I already did all the heavy lifting for you.
Thank you, dear.
Ignatius, I'll take my steak rare, brother.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask about Randy's steak.
Yeah, so I go over, like, I assume, Thilman, you've collected and split the money? Or am I going to have to haggle with you? Are you a typical dwarf when it comes to gold?
You want how much?
Okay, so you keep 10,
Right.
and he gets 10, I get 30? All you did was put the bet down, Thilman.
Right, but I've got the money. So that means you haven't heard of the golden rule. Thank you, John Ariosa. Thank you so much for the follow, buddy. Welcome to the adventure. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Like I was saying, have you ever heard of the golden rule, Ignatius?
I'm sure I will.
Right, that's right, you will. And we dwarves, we know gold. And the golden rule we know well. whoever has the gold makes the rules. So, looks like I'm making the rules. What do you think? I can probably bet somebody to eat a whole round of pie over there. Look
I
at
turn
that.
to Randy and go, well, Philman's holding your stake. He owes you 25 gold. Have fun. And I just walk off to collect
Medium
the other
rare,
50.
right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Medium rare. Here you go. Here's 5. That's
Yeah.
medium rare.
So yeah, I just. I'm
No,
so,
he,
well,
after
you
all
wanna
that, he
make this
goes, I'm
difficult? I'll
just
make it
kidding.
difficult.
I'm just kidding. And he passes the.
Okay.
he passes
Yeah,
everybody's-
cool.
But
And
seriously, I'm hungry, and I think the pies are screaming my name. Listen, Dimble, Dimble Iron Ring. You hear that? That's the pie. Over the horizon.
Seems utterly reasonable. Let me go collect the rest of my winnings, and we'll be right along. I
why don't
pull
we
out
have,
the drinks ticket that I was keeping in like the breast pocket of my waistcoat, and I'll pass it to Randy and go, courtesy of Elizabeth. She says, "Get what you like," and yeah, and also
Well,
food's on me
let's
for the
say,
evening.
let's move forward and say that if Randy's eager for his steak and Cord obviously is desperate to get into those pies that are screaming his name, Randy and Cord can step out and we can bounce back and forth between the food eating that'll go on and the gambling with Bear and upstairs.
I leave
sounds
one
perfect.
thing of like, Philman.
It's Thimble. You'll learn. It's
Thimble,
fine.
Sorry.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Thimble. It's what the
Get
God
me
forgot you
a
think.
pocket, some container of that hot sauce. I'm trusting
I
you.
don't know if we have to-go bags. Bag of holding. That'll do. And he's like,
You worry me, but I believe in you.
So
You're the
do you.
best.
Aye.
You're the man.
you're the man. You're the,
You're my main
tiefling.
man. And
You're
yeah,
the main tiefling. It doesn't work. Anyway,
yeah.
All right, we'll start with Cord and Randy heading up to the food stalls. So, Cord, you'll see that the pie eating contest is nearly about to start. And just to the side, like I say, have the savory option for those without a sweet tooth, where you can enter into this sort of chicken wing eating contest. But then, of course, on either side of these vendors, there's just lots of opportunity to sort of buy food. So, Randy, you can just sort of have your take based on your tickets or your gold.
Ignatius,
What's
before you leave, why don't you tell everybody that I have diabetes? Right? This'll do. And then you could bet. Is that what you do?
Give
Is
him
that
a
a thing?
I'll like. Okay, and then I'll do a quick pass
Good idea.
back through, on my way back, and I'll give my like best to go. Yeah,
Alright,
the dwarf who's
sorry.
entering the pie eating contest with diabetes.
Back to Randy. Sorry. I totally sniped your spot.
Yeah. So deception. That's my on a second to last inspiration. God, I have so many of these. Thank you, Ingy. Give me that money. 14.
Yeah, that's enough.
It's not my best work. A bit
It's
rushed.
enough for a 5-1. You can get a 5-1 wager that the dwarf will be out first.
And I'll,
Yeah, Randy, not necessarily like interested in another competition, more so just like, he's a really big guy and he can house a lot of food, so he's just like he's interested in trying everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is he going
I'm
to
sure, like-
try the special hot sauce?
Yeah, he doesn't shy away from a challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so you can have
Especially if it's a sauce. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, brother.
but I am going to need a con save from you for this hot sauce if you're going to partake. So you can describe your sort of foraging through and sampling all the different foods from the different vendors and things. And then eventually, if you make your way to this hot sauce, we will need a roll.
So this is going to be like a Scooby-Doo like montage of making giant
Sure.
sandwiches and taking literally like I said before, turkeys or chickens in each palm because they're so big, like palming like a whole turkey like you would like a basketball and just ripping off and just like he just like if they have it they want to try it. So I'm trying to think what would be something funny, like what was something funny that he'd want hot sauce on. I need some sort of fantasy turkeys or chickens in each palm. Michelle, your stream.
Sorry, I got it.
Maybe
You can
like,
have maybe like a sweet cake, like a light, fluffy like dessert cake or something like that.
I like the idea of the alternating like turkey cake. It's like doesn't matter. It's just fill.
Yeah, what it doesn't matter. I sprinkle it some on in the mat, like I get a little whatever it is of it and sprinkle some on something I'm eating, maybe the turkey or the cake or both.
All right, give me a con save.
All right, let's see here. Constitution saving throw. I'm gonna. I have an inspiration. I think it might be bad if I fail this, so I'm gonna roll again. Is that all right?
Yeah, by all means.
All right. Oh man. Not any better.
All right, so you are reeling from this this hot sauce. It is probably what's several times worse than you were expecting, even sort of your worst anticipation there. So you can go ahead and roll 1d6 for me.
Roll 1d6. 2.
Okay, so your strength score and your constitution score are temporarily reduced by 2. As you are just covered in sweats, you're drinking volumes of water, you feel bloated, your stomach's cramping, you're just not in a good space.
Why would you do this to the barbarian, you monster?
The modifier or the constitution? Like the.
Off of your score, so it'll bring the mod down by 1 at the most.
Okay.
Jesus.
So yeah, that was some hot sauce.
Now I want to feel bad when I put this on Elizabeth's food. Damn it.
All right, now there's a 5-1 outstanding that Cord is going to drop out of this pie eating contest first. Cord, you're just going to need to give me a con save to shovel all of this back.
Sure.
Stuff.
Yeah,
I could eat pie for day.
I'll drop another 5 gold on that bet. Get me some of that action.
What am I doing? Con.
So as long as he doesn't drop first, that's all. So it's not he has to win.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, more than enough. I'll say there's a halfling who has like a half a slice of pie more than you, but otherwise you were second place.
Halfling. How dare you? You're not even a full-ling.
Firstborn in 2s.
So Finbar, you can take 5-1 there on 5 gold.
So 25. Or do I get my stake back as well? I always forget the rules of betting. Whatever. I'm at 100.
We'll just take the
That's
25.
why it's your character and not your real life.
Yeah. Well, I'm.
Okay, now Elizabeth, you were wanting to maybe teach this guy how to count cards a little bit, or maybe rig some dice.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna head over to the card table. Is Ignatius coming?
I think I'll turn up, and I might like. I'm like a child in a candy store in this place. This is like what I do. It's my favorite con, so I'm probably helping, maybe enough to like give some assistance to maybe push you up to advantage. But like I'm also just like I need to do oh my god, look at all these marks. Yeah, Ignatius is excited in this room.
So I roll my eyes. I'm like, I have to babysit this guy.
We'll focus on Elizabeth more than if Ignatius is kind of just reeling with joy given the atmosphere of the space. So Elizabeth, are you wanting to focus more on like teaching him how to gamble, or are you just wanting to make the money back to give to him that he needs?
I think maybe I will I will actually gamble first, and then I'll say, hey, you can watch me these first few rounds.
Sure, he's going to sort of wallow behind you uncomfortably. He keeps looking over towards the one side door where you suspect that that's where Brandon either left from or is going to be coming from or something. Baron's pretty anxious about that side of the room. So, but yeah, otherwise you could sit down at a card table, dice table. It's your call.
I'm going to sit down at a card table.
Okay, and for the sake of pace, we are somehow gradually running out of time here. We'll do a couple rolls. It's going to be sleight of hand stuff to see whether you can pull off
Wait a second.
sort of rigging or not.
How many
does this
should
one
I...
end? This one ends at.
We've got
This
about
one ends
an
at
hour and a
11.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
an
got
hour and a half.
hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, how many should I roll?
Well, so start off with just one sleight of hand, and we'll see whether or not that allows you to sort of rig it or not.
Okay.
And then if you're unable to sort of rig the results, yeah, that's not going to be good enough for this one. But you can roll a D100 to see how you fare, just sort of based with the cards that you were dealt, thinking like a 7-card draw. Okay, not bad. I had a 20% threshold there. So how much would you have liked to bet on that that table overall? How much of your gold are you going to spend to try and either make some back or teach this guy how to gamble?
Oh my gosh, I don't know if Ignatius gave me any money before he ran away.
Well, he can have given you your cut because I guess he's bouncing back and forth.
I promised you half from the guy you pickpocketed, so I gave you 25 extra.
Okay. I'll put down 5 gold.
Okay, well, you can, on an 81, that's more than enough. You can have doubled that, so you've got 10 now to work with.
Okay.
So while you're sitting there gambling, you notice to your left, one of the other gentlemen sitting at your table, he's wearing a very sort of broad, sort of low cap, I guess, like a broad, kind of like a cowboy hat-esque, obviously, but that's a bit anachronistic.
Right.
And he eyes you a little bit. You're not sure whether he saw what you tried to do, sort of stacking your hand or sort of pulling a card from somewhere, but he's definitely keeping an eye on you now. And he's fairly quiet, keeping to himself. So he's got a closer eye on you than the dealer does, definitely. And we'll jump to Ignatius. Ignatius, you're going to hear from a couple people as you sort of make your way around, talking, sort of schmoozing and things, that the owner of this whole fairgrounds establishment, you start to hear a little bit of talk. Mr. Henry Lessem, who sort of owns this whole place, he works as the ringmaster during the show. He does the big weekend things. He used to love to gamble, just absolutely adored it. He'd be down in the gambling houses 2-3 times a day, putting down bets. He was famed for used to saying, all of his money that he installed or initially put into build the fairgrounds, he won on a bet. So he's a very big gambling man, but no one's seen him for a long time. He kind of hasn't really taken to gambling recently. Last 3-4 weeks, he just hasn't come down, hasn't really been invested or hasn't really cared. So people are kind of talking, kind of wondering, why isn't he gambling? Why isn't he coming around?
So I think I'll definitely invest some time into an investigation role, I suppose. Of like,
big time.
I smell a big mark. So I mean, small, like I maybe try my hand at a couple things, but I probably just play around, bet a gold, lose it, then bet another gold, win it back. I'm not really in the game. And
sure.
I'll invest, mostly just doing it to talk to people. And I will give
sure, no worries.
That investigation roll a go. Because I want to win me a circus. 22!
Nice. With that excitement of that
Big
22. Dark Twilight, thank you so much for the follow. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Welcome to the adventure.
So, Ignatius, you're talking to a young man named Davin. He's fairly aristocratic just by the cut of his clothes, the quality of the cloth, more rings than he really needs on his hands. And he's got sort of tinted glasses, which you can tell by the way he's looking around. You don't really think he needs them, whether he thinks they're fashionable or they help him gambling, you're not really sure, but they're kind of these goofy-looking glasses. So you sit talking with him for a while, and he sort of explains, what I had said, that Mr. Lesson, who runs the fairgrounds, used to gamble all the time, used to come down and love to bet with the boys. Hasn't done it, more specifically, for about a month and a half is sort of the time frame. And Davin tells you that, about a month and a half ago was also when they opened the Opium Den, which is a fairly new fixture. They never used to have that kind of activity, I suppose, to keep people sedated or sort of relaxed and that sort of thing in that. So there's something that sort of shifted in his philosophy or his approach or, what he cared about, what Mr. Lesson was interested in terms of running the fairgrounds.
Okay. It's that he's changed his tack since that place opened, and not that he's in there not gambling because he's busy losing his brain.
No, he seems to mostly stay in his quarters. He still comes out to do his shows, but he used to walk around the fairgrounds and meet people, greet people, do the kind of schmoozing thing, but he's mostly just sort of stayed locked up upstairs in his private quarters, and he comes out and does the big evening finales and things, but that's about it.
Okay. Can I roll into my 22, asking around? I mean, I'm not necessarily looking for an immediate thing, but ask around, see if there's any staff members who think they could ask him about whether or not he'd fancy a private game with a discerning customer. Again, gone for my slightly fancier look, and I'm trying to schmooze a bit and make myself seem more important than I am. See if I can't take him one-on-one.
So you're asking if anyone knows whether Lesson would
ask
go
a
into
few
a private...
staff around the place, does Mr. Lessem still have the stomach for a proper game with a worthy opponent?
Yeah, I mean, some of the dealers will say they honestly couldn't tell you. I mean, if you had asked them a month and a half ago, they would have said, show up here at a certain time of day, and all it would take would be a drink to get him into a game with you. But they haven't seen him. He doesn't walk around anymore. He doesn't check in with his staff. All of his sort of management sort of do all of that. He's very hands off now. He used to be a very sort of hands-on manager. He used to love participating in all of his games, but now he seems much more invested in keeping to himself and recruiting a little bit.
Okay. So I nod. How much money would this casino have to lose before he'd turn up?
Based on like the size of the fairgrounds and what they're turning and how many tables, probably like 3 or 4 dozen tables in this gambling house. You imagine that there's a pretty serious profit that they're running. So this is a pretty big business.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Is there any?
Not to mention how much the cost of everyone coming in at the gates and everything too.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's any way of me and Elizabeth, if we ran it together, putting a sizable enough dent in their profits that we draw his attention.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably be the kind of thing that, over a few weeks, if you were to case back and forth and keep doing jobs, keep trickling the money out, he might start to draw his attention, possibly, for sure.
Yeah. Not something I can pull in a day without some serious upgrade in my buying power. I'm only on 85 gold. I don't think I can, unless I manage to triple my money with every round. It's gonna be rough. Okay. Yeah, I think I what can I go for here? Yeah, I think I'd find a different member of staff, and I catch one who I haven't spoken to yet, hasn't really been paying much attention to me, and I shift, if a person was watching it, it's like maybe a movie scene almost, where as he walks across the floor, you get the flashes as dealers come between the camera and him. And with each move, his body posture changes. He goes from kind of the wheeling and dealing to this very upright, proper version. He straightens his hair and ties it back in a more formal type of thing. And by the time he's arrived at this staff member, he's like a different person. And he stands next to me and is I need to speak to your manager. My name is one moment, please. I have taken note of this. My name is Lucis Excellence, and frankly, the state of this place is appalling. I require that I immediately speak with the senior member of management to discuss the abysmal state of it all. Chop chop. And I have no point offer my hand to shake or anything along those lines, and I will be more than happy to roll my last advantage in that deception.
Do you want to roll the deception on the sort of bartender person that you're speaking to right now, or are you going to be holding off till you see the management? Because this is a permanent alternate identity you have, right?
Yeah, this is my my false identity side of my. So I have all the correct papers and such to be recognized as a city health official.
Yeah, that's fine. You won't need to roll to justify that that's who you are. If you've got papers and things, that's fine. Yeah, so the bartender will scurry off, kind of nervous and anxious. Quickly try and wipe down the bar as he goes by.
Yeah, Ignatius has gone from his kind of kid in the candy store, I'm so excited, I'm gonna just play a hand here or there, to he looks at everything as if it's disdain written on his face, as if all of you are beneath me. How very dare you!
Sure. So as you're standing at the bar, sort of waiting for this official or someone in management at the casino to come down, Elizabeth, while you're sitting there with Baron at the card table, you're going to see that sort of door to the left that he's been eyeing open up, and a fairly large-looking man who's wearing one of the red tunics. So he's a staff member of the fairgrounds in some capacity, and he's sort of straightening his tunic. Looks like he just sort of tossed it over the clothes he was wearing underneath. He's a large man, sort of full head of hair tied back in a ponytail. And a short sort of stubbled beard. And the minute he walks in, Baron just turns and tries to run out the door.
I think I'm going to get up off the table and try to stealthily follow him.
Just casually
just
make it look like you're leaving, but not.
Yeah,
exactly.
Sure, no worries.
Yeah, I think I will just briefly look over at Elizabeth, and I guess I just tilt my head. Tilt my head, raise an eyebrow, and kind of, is it good? It's probably the minutest break of character. I think you maybe have seen Lucis Excellence pop out once before, so you know what I'm running.
Yeah, I see Ignatius has straightened up, so I know that he's pulling out the health inspector card.
Polodro, thank you so
Literally
much
pulls
for
out
the
a card.
follow. Thank you so much for Polodro. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
You're the best,
Welcome to
Polodro.
the adventure.
Yeah, so do I get like a nod of like, I'm good? Okay. I kind of just, I nod and then I go back into like, everything in this room is awful.
Yeah, so Ignatius, sort of mid-30s human man, sort of walks out from behind the bar with the sort of watery bartender behind, sort of, again, aggressively scrubbing at the countertops now. The man standing in front of you, sort of short hair, blonde, a little bit of a mustache coming in. He's wearing sort of a red tunic, but it's got kind of a silver trim on it. He extends his hand to shake his hand and says his name is Alec. He said he was told there was some type of inspector here. Did you come down from Icaria, the big capital city that we're near?
Yeah, I like smartly turn and I think I gesture my like papers in front of me and it's like, are you the proprietor of this establishment?
Says he's the kitchen manager.
It's like eyebrow goes so goddamn high. It's like, I didn't realize I was talking to a pot washer. Fantastic. Flicks the like license back up without necessarily him having been able to look at it. It's like, well, I was hoping to talk to someone in actual management about the abysmal state of this place, but, well, I suppose you will have to do. I proceed to list off like, I do that thing of like subsection B, paragraph A, your dumpster isn't like 6 meters clear of the door. I frankly like
happen to have an open fire in
Yeah.
the doors.
I indicate like this troll guard doesn't. I haven't seen a troll size. Oh, it's a half orc accommodated bathroom. I list off everything. And
Nice.
you get really like it's probably all like backed up by some really like tiny legislation fine print that most people don't care about. But if you like would maybe hold up in court for like 20 seconds before someone would go, no, that's stupid. And yeah, I basically want to terrify this poor man into and if possible I want to drop the idea like I would want to talk to whoever's really in charge here. I guess
Yeah,
it's
you can roll a deception or intimidation, your call. So you
Um,
can sort of wield an abundance of facts that are
Yeah.
not really facts, or you
Yeah.
can sort of more push the tone.
it's facts that would scare someone who doesn't know like about this kind of law when it's like that stuff will fall down in seconds. But it's just scary enough. My intimidation is 4, but my deception is 6. So let's do my deception. Oh God, no! Why, Ignatius? Why do you fail me now?
Ignatius, you bastard. You only got
That's
an
a
8.
2.
That's fine.
That's a 2. That's rolling a 2.
Ah, that is.
Yeah, so you're working with about that kind of 20 seconds worth of traction there as Alec is kind of trying to listen. You know, he looks up a little bit as you're talking. He's, is it how far is the dumpster from? So he's trying to process this information as if it were
Yeah.
legitimate information, and then he's just going to go on to say that they handle all their admin. Sundays and Mondays. They're in the midst of a big event. The show's starting in another 2 hours. I mean, this isn't the time. There are proper channels for this. If you come back when the fairgrounds are closed, you can talk to whoever you want to talk to.
How can I push this? How can I push this? I can't try to see him in the same way because one roll and done. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna go full on intimidation and say like, I will pull my license out again and say, if I do not speak to who is in charge, I will shut this entire place down this very day, and I will have guards crawling over every single inch of your operation. And believe me when I say the worst thing they will find will be a dumpster. Nostrils flare dramatically. Do I want to use my last inspiration? I'm going to use my last inspiration. So I'm now out. Yes!
Nostrils a flaring.
Yep.
All right. Short of wetting his tunic, Alec is going to get visibly uncomfortable. He's kind of squirming, before you're even done your tirade. And he's just going to look back and forth and then sort of over his shoulder sort of gesture you with a head nod to follow him and say, he can't promise that Lesham's going to see you. I've only seen him when he hired me. So, I'll take you to his quarters, but that's the best I can do.
Fantastic. Yeah, follow along. Cool.
So at that we'll
Yeah,
cut to the
let's-
other 3 outside.
Have some fun with the rest of you.
Thank you to the Puppy Love 24 for following. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you.
Oh yeah, puppy love.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
so for
Get that
convenience
man
sake,
a Slim Jim.
and just because I really hate this NPC, as Baron sort of bursts out of the casino, we'll say that Cord and Randy, you guys are just coming back from having filled your gullets. Randy, you're still sweating profusely. You're still pounding back the liquids as best you can.
That was wonderful.
I have something yet. Like, so Randy's probably like sort of like balancing himself on, and I'm not huge into it anymore, but in my real life, IRL, I've like messed with some like super hot peppers before, and it is like really debilitating. Like,
You messed with that shit.
yeah. So,
Yeah. Back in
so
my
he's
day,
like-
I used to mess with the hard stuff.
I've experimented with drugs. You haven't experimented. You're not a fucking scientist.
Oh yeah, jalapeno. It's a gateway pepper.
what's the scale called? There's
There's
a certain name.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a certain name. Anyway, so yeah, I think Randy's seriously out of it, and he's like profusely sweating. He's balancing himself on
Chat will find out for us.
on Cord's character,
And I was just like, God, you're heavy.
and as
It's
he
quite a height difference.
Yeah,
As
he's like
he,
got his shield out, and he's kind of like inching himself towards the door, using it as like a digging into the ground.
he did bring some for Ignatius, but as they sort of come in and get in contact with the group or like get close to the group, he goes,
Randy man, from the savage lands, love him or leave him. The same fire that the dragon breathes, he shall burn by.
and then gives Ignatius the hot sauce. That's besides love him or leave him, that actually is a Macho Man quote, by the way. Too.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I guess I'm not there to collect at the moment, but
Did you look up Macho Man quotes so you could drop them in whenever like this will be good for hot sauce giving?
This one just happened to fit. I just like on the link that I just shared. Look at the picture that's in it. It's that I think that
I'd
just
love
sums
to.
up Macho Man pretty much.
I'm feeling the vibe. I'm feeling the vibe.
Oh,
if we took
yeah,
this
big
campaign
time,
to level
big time.
20, that's where we'd be.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I'm gonna put the elbow on top of
Give
Orcus.
it a people's elbow.
Oh,
All right, so Randy and Cord are kind of stumbling back towards the casino. Cord doing his best to hold Randy up.
You may be good at taking out and punching and knocking out all them people, but I think I'm better at knocking out all them cakes, right? You got quite a weak belly on you. You don't have an iron gut like the Ironrang clan. As he kind of just
No,
bounces
I
it in the
don't.
air. He twerks with his belly. Belly twerk. It's a racial trait. It's an innate racial trait. Hashtag belly twerk.
I think in fifth edition they are resistant to poison and stuff. So I imagine they would have like a very hearty digestive
Oh, I would
tract as
definitely
well.
apply that. I'd play that advantage, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So at this point, I guess Elizabeth is sort of casually strolling out of the casino as well, and you guys are all sort of the three of you, as you're sort of reconvening, you're witnessing Baron as he sort of sprints/stumbles headlong into a gang of fairly drunken patrons, and they immediately start shouting and screaming, and there's now a tiff going on where this looks like they're going to beat this poor guy senseless.
They're beating
hangs back.
Baron?
Yeah, they're about to. So he's sort of sprinting and he's looking over his shoulder to the casino as he runs out, and he accidentally falls sort of headlong into a half-elf, and they sort of tumble into the ground together, and the half-elf is already up and cussing and screaming, and his friends are sort of running over. And so now there's all this commotion going on, and you guys can see probably about 100 meters off down two of the strips. You can see some of the security are on their way over. So sort of red tunics.
Okay,
Red tunics are on their way.
But
Red
the man
tunics are
who's going to
coming.
beat the shit out of Baron is also a red tunic, right?
No, he
Okay.
stumbled into
Oh.
into patrons, not
okay.
actual staff.
hashtag
I thought the one
colonists.
chasing him was. So.
Well, no, the man in the red tunic didn't see him. He ran out as Brandon sort of walked into the bar. So
Sorry. But yeah, okay, cool.
no worries.
You guys.
All right.
I turn to Randy and I say, "Looks like you're up," and I hang back.
Any a friend of Elizabeth is a friend of mine, brother. Like, Jump into the fray.
Oh god. Debilitated as he is, the macho man must be macho.
Yeah, and Cord, what's your response to this poor bastard?
So this guy runs out, and there's a bunch of red cloaks following him.
No, there's red cloaks sort of on their way from sort of either end of the street as they see that a scuffle is happening. This poor guy just fell into like customers, you know, drunks, like a pack of friends, and then they're now sort of getting ready to physically show him why he shouldn't have bothered with them.
What's your name? Baron. Oh, got a follower. Thank you so much, Endique, for the follow. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Welcome to the adventure, buddy. So, where was I? Baron, what have you done? What have you done in there? I just went to have a couple of pies, and you...
He's just screaming from the pile, help, 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 as they're starting to wail on him a little bit.
I couldn't quite hear that. Was that abyssal? What did you say? I don't speak primordial. Speak common. As he shakes him. As he's getting beat up, and he's just still shaking him.
So you're diving.
Punches are missing as you shake him out of the way.
Hitting him, and he like climbs, and people are beating him. He's like, "Move! What are you?" And he's like got his shield out, and he's like, "Clang, clang, clang."
What kind of armor are you wearing?
I'm wearing chainmail, I have a shield, and a cudgel. But he takes out the shield and just kind of goes underneath him. And he just starts shaking him. What? How do you? What happened in there? Stop hitting me!
He's gonna keep. He's gonna start sort of muttering and sort of whimpering about Brandon having run out, and the sort of the gaggle of drunks that were sort of beating on him and now trying to beat on you. Once they see that you're fully clad in armor and have a shield and a weapon, they immediately fuck off and start sort of trying to blend in different direction.
I am full. There is nothing I could do against you, but thank you for leaving.
But you can see, Cord, that the red shirts, the tunicked security are sort of still walking towards you, and they're now sort of pointing at your kit and your equipment as they walk over.
Oh boy. Puts the plate behind his back. Yeah, nothing to see. It's just armor. It's part of my armor. And he's just like, Randy, you're not Randy. Crap, forgot the name. Baron, what? Tell me, what's going on? Hurry before these guys show up and take me away from you.
He's just gonna sort of blutter out that Brandon was right inside. Brandon was inside. I can't. Brandon's gonna kill me the next time he sees me. He's gonna kill me.
Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You know what you need? You need a nice massage. He gives him blessing, and it's like massaging his shoulders as he stands him up. And he's like, "Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. You know, Brandy is gonna come and look at you, and then he's gonna be all like, oh, this guy. You know, I'm not gonna mess with him because he's big and strong now. And you see that Randy over there? He has to look just like you. And then now look at him. He's taken on half orcs by the naked plenty because that's
at this point
that's what boxers do."
At this point, Randy can maybe like throw up or something. You know, look how strong Randy is.
Ghost pepper and pie filling.
Side effects may include projectile vomiting.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
I mean, don't worry about that. He gets anxious after a fight. It's all the adrenaline, doesn't know where to go. So he just, heaves it. But anyway, you'll be fine.
Baron's going to thank you. He's going to sort of clap you on the shoulders and thank you, and he's going to move to sort of scutter off into an alleyway, trying to blend into the crowd.
In there, but yeah, probably hide. But don't be afraid of it if it's coming towards you.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of nodding sort of responsively, sort of doing what you say.
Now wish me luck, because I've got these guards to deal with.
Yeah, so you and Elizabeth and Randy are standing there, and the guards are probably within the next minute, they're going to be on you.
So
Cool.
I probably, knowing that the other two are not that great on their feet, I step forward to try to talk to the guards as they approach us.
So I'll say there's a trio of them. They're wearing the tunics, and they all have these little sort of, they're kind of like cudgels, but they're more just like little batons, kind of staffs. They're a little thicker above the handle, but that's about it. And they don't seem too interested in you, so you're kind of trying to stop them, and they're obviously looking over your shoulder towards Cord is the one they're interested in.
I say, good evening, gentlemen. Can I help you?
the sort of guard in the middle is going to sort of look down at you and again keep trying to look over towards Cord, and he's just going to say, "No, we're not talking to you, miss. We're not here to talk to you. Please step out of the way."
I'm his agent, so if you'd like to speak with him, you have to speak with me first.
Agent? What do you mean, agent? You guys you're not employees. You don't have tunics on. Like he's not supposed to have that kit. He can't have armor, no weapons.
He's a performer. He's holding those for Mr. Randy over there. They are in the performance later this evening. They need to get ready.
Okay, maybe a deception to see how much that sticks.
Their faith. Their faith.
All right, I'll say this guard is going to believe that Randy and Cord are somehow connected in the show and the performance, but he's still not buying that there are exceptions to the weapon rule. There is still to be no weapons, no armor. So you're sort of convincing me that okay, well, you're part of the show where you can't be walking around. There's people out here. Someone could take one of those weapons from him. I mean, we can't have that. That's not how we run this joint.
Hey, sir, have you ever seen a weapon? Those are props. Those are not weapons. I can't believe you're actually working security.
He's going to kind of scratch his head and sort of look at his sort of two compatriots. He's not sure whether he should be embarrassed or not. He doesn't really know. And he's going to say, well, if they're props, tell him to whack his friend there.
Okay, I turned to Cord's character and I said, give Randy a good whack. Show him.
Hey, I'll do just that. Here we go. And let's see if I have any.
It's a cudgel.
Yeah, it's like a mace. Yeah.
We all know that Cord's character can heal.
Yeah,
So-
it's true. Yeah. Immediately just hits him in the heels. That's probably what I'll do. Like break his arm, heal his arm. The word creature gets attacked. I'm actually going to be like, yeah, just 1 second. Are you ready? And he like touches his chest to like mark. Here I go. Usually when you start a stage combat, you want to make sure your target knows that you're about to hit them. And he like puts his hand on his chest, and as he does that, he casts Sanctuary. So ward a creature within range against an attack. Until the spell ends, the creature or target is warded an attack. Harmful spell. Failed set creature. Choose a new target. Never mind, that doesn't work. Yeah, I'll just be like, you know what? So, like, afterward, I'm going to touch him again to make sure he's all right. So I want you to act this one out, all right? Really, like, sell it to the audience, okay?
Yeah.
You got this? Who am I talking to, Randy?
Yeah, and from a meta perspective too, I have a 15. Yeah, I'd say just roll against my AC, and then like maybe if it does, like if it gets through the AC, then we could roll a skill check to see if I could like bluff that it didn't hurt or something. Like.
Yeah.
Well, I think rather than against your AC, because your AC is not just your armor, it's you're trying to dodge. So if you're sort of allowing yourself to be whacked, which is totally your choice, you can choose that or not. If you're gonna let Cord whack you, Randy. Then what we'll do instead is we'll just have him roll that damage.
Performance, you could actually do a fake like stage nap, be like, oh, and I'm like, oh, look at that.
We could go for a con save to see whether he can just like tank it and act as if that was a totally fake weapon.
Yeah,
I like this.
I am
I like this.
bleeding on the inside. God damn it, Cord.
I like this. I like this
Swelling in the
charisma
eye.
save. We'll do performances with a charisma save here.
Okay, I have a. Let's
You
see
think you
here.
could pull it off the fake actual hit.
Actually, yeah, I have a 2. A 2 in performance. It's one of Randy's specialties.
Nice.
Oh yeah, give me all you got, brother.
Oh yeah, this is fine. He just riles up the crowd.
Oh, 19.
All right, so Randy, like you time perfectly. So Cord, you're kind of a little nervous, and you give a full swing, and Randy like times the turning of his face. Like he's turning his head right as the sort of blow is swinging by, and he sort of spits out a mouthful of saliva and kind of gives the big grunt and stumbles on the ground a little bit.
Blood as well, and he just goes.
The hot sauce in his mouth is already making his mouth bleed, so he just
Yeah. Spits some of the residual hot sauce.
And then he just sort of pops up and goes because he's pretending. So,
Dun, da, da, da.
yeah, that's more than enough. At least that patch of guards is convinced, and they say, okay, well.
Hey.
Keep it down or put it in your pack or something. I don't want someone
I
running
did.
around.
It's in my pack this whole time. You're the one who told me to take it out. I had the shield out. Is that really a big deal? The shield? Come on. Not
He's
he
going to
didn't.
keep his little eye
Captain
crossing,
America.
track that a little bit, and then just sort of tell you guys to be on your way. But, the show's starting in
Yeah, that's
30,
right.
30, 40 minutes. You guys should get back behind the curtain if you're going to be in the
Yes,
show. Anyway.
exactly. Yeah, we've got dressing rooms and makeup to put on, right, Randy? Hey.
Look for us out there, brothers.
Yes.
Where that
Keep
came
your eye out for old Thimmel Iron Ring.
Just a taste of what's to come. Ah.
That's right. And he does like an elaborate high five. He's like, and like spins like Michael Jackson. He's just like waits for a high five from Randy.
Dude, I think I'm becoming Randy. I'm okay with it. Yeah, I give you a massive,
Thank you.
massive high five.
Illy
Hey!
claws him.
But these guards kind of grumble off. You get the sense that they sort of get a kick out of being bullies, and obviously they're not bullying right now, so they kind of huff and puff and walk away.
Also American cops. Okay.
Exactly. All right, so we'll cut back to Finbar. Finbar, you're being escorted sort of through the more private areas of the large tent that's sort of in the center fixture of the fairgrounds. There's quite a lot of commotion. Everyone's getting ready for the big performance, the big show. You hear a bunch of animal noises. You hear a bunch of sort of loud roaring and sort of screeching noises from animals that you haven't heard before.
Okay.
So lots of commotion. You see, acrobats and, a couple gymnasts, a couple other strong men that you see wearing the typical sort of leopard spotted loincloths and that sort of thing, just to be as tropaic as we can.
Oh, good. Yeah, no.
And you get led up sort of a couple flights of stairs. I mean, most of the tent structure is all sort of wood scaffolding and then lots of sort of cloth walls and curtains and things.
Mm-hmm.
And you get led to what looks like a fairly solid sort of wooden wall with sort of large, fairly ornate door with bronze handle. And he says, Alex says, you can knock, but I'm not even supposed to really be here. So I mean, you do your business, and I'll go move that dumpster. Sorry again about the dumpster.
Mind that you do. Yeah, like if it was so on the inside, Ignatius is like, this is amazing, but in the form of Lucis Excellence, it's like every single one of these animals is just a different kind of form they have to fill out.
So many violations.
Yeah, no, God, it's terrible.
There are 4 flies around that dung pile.
Yeah,
and
so,
that's 4 points.
So I think I'm going to test this because thaumaturgy does allow me to open unlocked doors. So first of all, Ignatius lifts a finger, as if like reaching out towards the door. So if this fails, he doesn't look like a complete tit. But I will attempt to just thaumaturgy the door open.
It's locked.
And he kind of like flicks out his finger, sighs, and then like
Because you told the DM that you're one penalty. Well, this doesn't work for locked doors. Is it locked?
no. It's only a cantrip. I can't be that amazing. So
Yeah.
I'll give like 3 stern knocks. There's no music or rhythm to it. It's just dum dum dum.
Okay,
So
you're
steady
gonna
rhythm.
hear the sound of what sounds like a body like hitting the ground, just like a huge sort of clattering thump, and then a little bit of sort of fumbling and some grumbling. You hear some clinking glass, and then you do hear sort of heavy booted footsteps walking towards the door. And before the door unlocks or opens, you hear a very sort of sour growl at you that just asks, "What do you want?"
Yeah. So I'm trying to think which version he goes for here. From my investigation earlier, do I know much, like, other than he's a gambling man, do I know much about like the character of Lessem? Was he like, is he the audacious gambling type? Does he like appreciate recklessness and bravery? I'm trying to work out, like, do I approach him in my fake guise and try to official him, or do I go, yo, I'm the guy who's good enough to get all the way into your compound, you should totally see me.
Give me an intelligence save.
Intelligence save, okay.
Thank you so much, Gromit the cat, for following. Happy and welcome to the adventure. You are a gentleman and a scholar. I'm
12.
forgetting my words.
Yeah, so all you can recall about sort of Mr. Lessem in this, part of the world is his association with the fairgrounds. And beyond that, you don't really know. He seemed to have come out of nowhere. Again, he sort of claims to have made his fortune on a single bet. And that's sort of the rumor that he spread around. But he's sort of mysteriously absent on anyone's radar prior to being associated with the fairgrounds. So there's not much that you can pull otherwise.
Okay. How am I going to go about doing this one? Yeah, I guess Lucis will speak forth. Lucis Excellence will do his I'm here in regards to a number of health violations your fair is doing. Uh, I'm afraid to say there are many and frequent along my route over here today, and it is a terrible shame. So I was hoping to discuss with you whether or not there would be any sort of compensation to ensuring that a blind eye is turned to the many infractions.
Okay, you're going to hear a heavy metal bar slide as one of the locks sort of opens on this door, and the door is going to whip open. And you're going to see a human male, probably in his early 70s, quite aged, with a very long, wiry, nasty-looking beard. And his hair is kind of all disheveled all down his shoulders, and he's wearing an eye patch. He's got a heavy sort of black leather cloak, very nice-looking sort of ornate gloves, very nice, high-quality pair of boots. He reeks of alcohol at this point. You can see the room behind him is absolutely sort of practically destroyed. It's just covered in scraps of food and empty bottles. It's just in complete disarray. And he leans right towards you and grabs you by the collar and says, "Who the hell are you?"
At this point, the Lucis thing cracks completely, and Ignatius is like, "Hi, name's Ignatius. I'm a big admirer of your work. Sorry for the whole pretense thing. I couldn't find an easier way to get your staff to cooperate, but I thought a man of your reputation, and indeed one who knows how to party this hard, would appreciate a man of my recklessness and daring." I kind of hold out a hand at a really awkward angle. It's like, "Ignatius Cecilius. Mr. Lester."
He's going to give you, and then sort of let you go and turn around and not close the door behind him. So he's sort of leaving the door open for you to enter, and he's going to say again, "Who the hell are you?"
Well, like a man I think you remember from your own stories, I am I believe the term is grifter. And I just kind of spill off like a man of no consequence currently, but I intend to change that. I look for, like so this room is like a complete pigsty, right?
Yeah, so he moves over and sits down at a chair at a desk and puts his boots up on the desk and pulls out a pipe and starts to stuff it a little bit and get ready to start smoking.
Yeah.
You see quite a lot of very valuable items around the room, sort of not just art objects, sort of dishes, sort of ornately sort of carved statues, things like that, but also like scabbards and scraps and pieces of armor. You see a large sort of wooden box. Yeah, there's just shit everywhere.
Okay, yeah. As I see him like stuffing his pipe, I lean forward, click my fingers, and I use prestidigitation to make a little light to light it for him, and I'll clear a stool next to him to sit down. Now, I hope you'll forgive my arrogance, but I was very much hoping, and I fished for one of my packs of cards. Probably my only honest one, whereas the rest are all marked and stuff. But I actually have some modicum of respect for this guy. It's like that the infamous and famous Mr. Lessam would treat me to a game. And I put the deck on, I clear a small space on the table in front of him. I've heard a great many tale of your talents, and well, there comes a point in every storyteller's life where he's got to find out whether fiction and fact are the same.
He is going to give you an absolutely terrifying grin from ear to ear, and you're going to see that the majority of his teeth are blacked and sort of caked out, if not missing entirely. And he's going to give you a bit of a nod and say, "Well, let's see what you've got, boy."
Yeah. So, I think normally I'd get to add proficiency bonus twice for using fancy tools, but as I say, this is a completely honest pack.
Sure.
I'm not going to play fair because I assume he isn't either. But I'm not going to stack advantages prior to the game in my favor. So I guess sleight of hand? Is that it?
Sure. So as you're sort of getting, doing a bit of a shuffle and getting things set, he'll say, like a 2-card flop or something, and he'll say, "What's the wager?"
Yeah, I think it's like I reach into my pouch and like, well, I rigged some fights in your boxing arena earlier today, and this is all the money I've made from it. So I toss down the 70 gold I've made today. Part of that what I had to pay my fighter. So, and I finished the shuffle. What have you got that's worth my time? This is my day's work. I mean, I kind of gesture around the party crash room. I'll take your day.
He's going to feign sort of fumbling through his sort of coat pockets a little bit, and mumble to himself, well, I can't be bothered to work an honest day anymore, so I don't know, maybe this would be worth a little something to you. And he's going to pull out what looks like a sort of glass sphere, but it's kind of got a milky white tinge to it. And it is sort of radiating a decent amount of its own light, so it's generating its own sort of luminosity. And it's extremely sort of pristine, like it's very clear, even though it's got that milkiness. This is some type of orb or something that you've never seen before or tracked. And he's going to plop that on the table and say, you beat me, you can have the looking glass, but if I beat you, you work for me.
Dallas Cat, thank you so much for the follow.
Yeah.
You are a gentleman and a scholar. It's been so long. I've been doing this all day. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you so much. Welcome to the adventure, buddy.
You arrived just in time to watch me bet my soul for a circus. Yes, I think like Lucis levels of control go into into Ignatius not going like, hell yes. But he wants to look respectable in front of a guy he does kind of idolize. It's like the original grifter, the real OG. So yeah, I think he kind of nods like, okay, seems reasonable. I'll forgive you not for the stake this time. And yeah, he flicks the cards, and yeah, I guess it's time to sleight of hand. I believe in you, Ignatius. You can. I don't know. Why did
I believe in you.
Why did I not the proficiency in this stat? Oh no, I did. Never mind.
There you go.
I'm out of inspiration. It's just me.
Going in dry.
Oh!
All right.
Yes! Give me your magic orbs.
Okay, so I'm going to need from you, actually, prior.
Nice.
Hold on one sec here. Hold on.
Not so easy.
Yeah, so you pulled off your feint or your sleight of hand, your little trick, but he was obviously pulling out one of his own.
Of course. I don't expect him to play fair.
And I'm going to say that this will definitely be an active perception because you obviously suspect that he may be doing something. So give me a perception roll against his.
Okay. Ooh, a 10. I presume his sleight of hand is better than that.
Quite a lot better. So we'll say, you're sort of dealing the cards, and as you're dealing the cards, you're sort of stacking who's getting what. And you're sort of making sure that you're giving yourself precisely the hand you want and giving him one that seems, decent, but, obviously not quite as good as yours. But sort of somehow in the process, as he's sort of sitting there just looking at you as you're dealing, when you pull up your cards, they're his hand that you had dealt to him instead.
You son of a bitch. I was just waiting to find we both played and both had an ace of spades, but okay. Yeah, so I presume it's... is it one and done, or is that the?
For this guy, I mean, with his age and his repute, and obviously this is the NPC. For those of you following on the stream, this is the NPC that was donated to be paid to be put in. So this was the one that was asked for especially. So he's got to have a little bit of pump to him.
Okay.
More so than might have been prepared. So
I know exactly what I do.
This is a one and done. You can see, oh fuck, your eyes open up. You're kind of bone.
I reach for my cards. I flick over the first.
You'll probably recognize him.
Top one, and I see it's not the right card, and then as fast as I feasibly can, I cast sleep on him. Yeah, so I roll 5d8, and then I try not to clip myself in this AoE because it technically can affect me too. But
so toss it in the corner of the room or something.
Yeah. Essentially, so if the total is greater than his HP, then he falls asleep for a minute or until I wake him.
Okay, see what you're rolling.
27.
Oh, wow.
Well, he's an old man.
Unfortunately, again, this is the NPC.
Oh my god.
This was actually, and I'll give this tidbit again for those in chat, this was a player character that was played in one of my older campaigns that Brewstone donated to have his player character made an NPC. And that campaign got to level 17. So this guy's
That's awesome.
So
Okay,
this
so
wasn't
now we
much.
Damn retired adventurers.
This is not a balanced encounter as far as I would have prepared for you guys, but you gotta respect the donations.
Yeah, that's fine. One can't expect to take on his hero at level 1 and win.
So you try to cast sleep, and Mr. Lesson is just going to start rolling with laughter. He is just howling in your face, just laughing quite over the top. I mean, he's selling it. He's overplaying it.
Yeah.
And then he's going to just sort of go to stand up a little bit and then just say, good day to you, son. I hope you enjoy the show, and sort of extend his hand towards the door.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna push my luck, and I just lean forward. I like hold up my hand to shake, and like go. Well, I mean, you must have the best seats in the house. I've got some friends who wouldn't mind it. I am working for you now. Don't I get a day one bonus?
He'll give you a wink and say, yeah, find your way to the box upstairs.
Okay. If he goes to shake my hand, I'm gonna try and like sleight of hand the top card from my the shitty hand he managed to re-deal me into like a pocket or something. Give me my last go. Ignatius's final hour, I suppose. I'm not gonna die, which is nice. 21.
Bravo.
Yeah, so I mean, you feel pretty confident. Like, you nailed that. That's one of the better slips you've done. You know, it was nice
Yeah.
and smooth. There's no friction. It was all good. He displays no indication of having seen it. That doesn't necessarily mean he didn't.
Yeah.
But he's sort of, you know, you think, yeah, I planted that card. Like, he's going to find that later. Yeah, like, that's sweet.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna
Is he
sort of-
wearing like his ringmaster outfit already, or is he like gonna have to change for the show?
you imagine he'll put on a different coat.
Okay.
Underneath, he's just kind of got like a white cotton shirt that's unbuttoned sort of partway down. So
Okay. Yeah. So I guess I regather my cards, and as I'm walking towards the stairs, I just kind of fan them out. Huh. 51. And like half expecting to get one up, I'm like, you seen 52?
okay, well, one sec here. We'll slow it down a little. Give me a perception check again.
Ah, you sly bastard. I'll get you, lesson. 14?
Okay, so you go out and you're sort of in the process. You're kind of skimming your deck of cards, and like you're not even actually counting. You're just like, oh, I've got
Looking
51
for
here,
that card.
and you're gonna see a completely different card from a different set, a different deck of cards has been slipped into that deck.
It's like they're all blue backs, and there's a red backed one, and it's the same
Yeah.
number and suit as well.
Yeah.
It's like, ah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess one gets a job to learn things. And I just shuffle the deck and walk on. But yeah, I guess my plan is, I'm gonna go find like, I guess I walk up to the box, and I imagine the view is great. If he's not lying to me about that as well.
Yeah. No, and at this point, I guess as that interaction was going on, we can say that Elizabeth and Cord and Randy had been sort of slowly corralling towards the larger tent, given that most of the other sort of customers and visitors were doing so as well to get ready for the big show. And we can say that, you know, Finbar, you can sort of wave frantically from the box saying, come up here.
If I can find the same chef, I'll do it to him. But I'll find some like usher and like Lucis face him into like, you see the big man, the 6'10" man over there, bring him to me. And because I'm standing in the box, I just expect it to work.
Yeah, no roll required. You just sort of boss them around as you like.
Yeah. So yeah, I indicate our amazing seats that we still didn't have to pay for. Well, you didn't, I guess.
How's Randy feeling?
We'll say like halfway through the show, you'll be back at par.
Okay.
But it's still lingering. It's still holding.
Yeah. So I sit down and I kind of like, I guess as they arrive, I just kind of gesture. So, how was the last hours or two of your lives then?
Not so good, brother. Not so good.
You're looking at
Fire burns inside Randy.
And
And not the
cake's
good
burned
kind.
inside Fibble. The sugar burns inside my bowels. I'm lactose intolerant. I'd probably stand back, so the fire is probably going to be in your face in a minute. Ayo.
Lactose intolerant diabetic.
Yep, it's definitely it's a hard dwarf life.
I'll turn to Elizabeth and go, how'd you do at the card table then?
She kind of dodges the question and says, she says, "These are pretty nice seats. Looks like your night's doing pretty good."
Well, I mean,
Nice.
you won whatever you won. He's got bowel issues. Randy,
But I did great though.
yeah,
It's
Randy,
just-
you're Randy. You're cool. I got a job offer, so you know. Let's enjoy the show. This is my night one bonus, I think.
What's the job offer? It's like the show is like, please get to your seats. I'm like, what's the job offer? Well, tell me about it.
Well, he
Turn off
thinks
your
it's
cell phone.
Flunky. I think it's Successor. We'll find out.
All right. So I have to
Yeah.
wait till the end of the show to know?
Funky like a monkey.
I wouldn't be much of a circus showman successor if I didn't know my way around a good finale, Thimble. And
So-
Mr. GM, take us away.
Oh yeah, brothers.
All right, so
I forgot to mention. Me and Miss Elizabeth heard something strange before. Something about the last act. I don't know. Yeah.
Well-
What's supposed to happen here? Am I something I don't know?
There was
Speaking of which, the last act is about to happen. And he kind of like gets out and it's like, what's gonna do?
Thimble, down boy.
This is bad. This is bad.
We'll be
I don't want to
fine.
interrupt the
We're in
applause with my
box.
applause. I want my thaumaturgy to explode out of my leather pants. Let's go. There'll be a thunderclap in a minute. He tries to, excuse me. He tries to make his way out. Excuse me. Sorry.
I'm not getting between them and a dwarf in his toilet.
Exactly.
Okay.
yeah, so we can say you can miss the first part of the show if you need to be in
Yeah.
certain
Oh,
rest
yeah.
facilities.
He's gonna come in like mid-show, like dramatic scene. Oh, excuse me, Pat. Oh, sorry. Oh boy. And you're like people
Still kind of
can't
farting a
see
little
over
bit.
him, but he's just like,
Yeah,
he'll stand
he's gonna
up
get
'cause
to the
he's
bottom
too
of the
high.
box, and Randy's just gonna lift him up in.
Exactly. Could you lift me? Come on. Like a little baby.
Toss me.
All right, so as
Plus,
you're
it's-
as the big show gets rolling, as it starts, first thing that happens is all of the sort of light globes start to dim and it darkens, and then a pretty ornate set of illusions start to sort of unfold on the sort of the ceiling, the sort of top canopy. There's a sort of flat laid cloth stretched out in the top of this circus tent, and there's kind of a large narrator, sort of very loud narrator, sort of giving you the scoop as this sort of illusion starts to unfold. So it's kind of similar to kind of a Cirque du Soleil sort of thing, where you've got a moving, dynamic backdrop that's coordinated with the sound, as well as all the performers that are sort of moving across through the center of the ring as well. So
So ghost sound is what you're saying.
lots of ghost sound, lots of illusion magic, everything kind of rolled in together. And you've got acrobats and some clowns, and then there's fire dancers, and the humanoid part of the show goes on for the better part of an hour. Again, with all the sort of the illusions, the kind of IMAX screen above, kind of enhancing the experience a little bit. And then it starts to get a little bit more interesting. You start to see some animal tamers come out. The animal tamers have everything from sort of wild or exotic animals that you might have heard of to some strange, sort of very large, sort of almost grotesquely swollen versions of animals. You know, the sort of the dire forms of more common animals as well being brought out, doing tricks and things, not just sort of drawn by chains and things like that. And then it gets even weirder. You start to see some dinosaurs, which again, sort of within this world context, would be sort of extinct species of large predatory beasts. That, again, you might have heard of from, bone findings and things like that, but never seen one alive. And those start to get paraded around as well. There's a chimera at one point that is brought out onto the stage and is sort of put through a bit of an obstacle course kind of thing, obviously to much of the enjoyment of the crowd. And then the lights start to dim again, and the big illusion on the ceiling shifts to being portraying a little bit of kind of a cosmic perspective. So you get these sort of rolling astral clouds and a sort of swirling galaxy and things as the narrator starts to sort of build up that the last thing that you're going to see, some of you may need to avert your eyes. If there are any children in the audience, please, parents, cover the heads of your children. If anybody with a weak stomach, anyone whose constitution is liable to be wavered or cracked, this is the point when you can leave the show. So there's a sort of drawn out pause so that people leave if they don't want to be here for the finale before it kicks off.
This is probably when Thimble comes back with like some sort of like magical, fantastical 3D goggles and a bucket of popcorn. What I miss it?
Just grab the popcorn and just like start shoveling. It's like, this is gonna be amazing.
I was full before, but now I'm empty, so now I gotta refill. And he's got a handful of the corn. Just, this is great. So what have I missed? What's going on so far?
So the narrator starts describing an encounter with the old ones, is all he says. The old ones from times before, from before our worlds, before our cosmos, before our gods. These old ones ruled sort of the cosmos and the skies. And, there are so few who've ever even encountered them, and none have lived to tell the tale except your ringmaster, Mr. Henry Lessem. And so the lights are going to slowly come up from these light globes, and there's going to be four, probably like 20-foot radius giant cages that are suspended on pedestals about 10 feet up from the ground of the circus ring. And in these cages are nothing short of Cthulhu-esque horrors. So these things, within D&D categories, size-wise, you're talking, large, pushing, huge creatures. So these things are, 15 feet high by, 10, 12 feet long. And again, they're masses of tentacles and maws and strange things. You hear many people in the audience start to scream or shriek or cry. Someone throws up a little bit.
At this point, I nudge Elizabeth because, still Ignatius is going, look, it's your boyfriend. I know I'm losing my bet, so I've got to get a dig in where I can.
I shrug him off, shut up.
And in the center of the stage, in the center of these four cages, Mr. Lesson is going to be standing there, and not quite what you expected, I guess, Finbar. He is wearing the same cloak. He's drawn two scimitars that are on his hips, and he's got a pirate's sort of tricorn cap that's been put on over top of his eye patch. And he's kind of standing there. He's not speaking. He's not doing anything too showy. And at one point, he tosses an empty bottle to his side and then just screams up to the sky, something in Abyssal, actually, if anyone speaks Abyssal.
No.
Shouldn't. Finbar's character should, right?
I know I have Infernal. Devils, not demons.
Shit, yeah.
So close.
It's like Cthulhu versus...
versus hell.
Versus hell, yeah.
So Mr. Lessem lets out this string of curses in Abyssal, and then he just says, "Let's be on!" And the cages sort of crack open, pointing inwards, and these old terrors, these old ones, just throw themselves on Mr. Lessem. And you can see that the finale is just him fighting these four creatures, cursing all the while. They're thrashing at him, lashing at him. And this goes on for probably about 10 or 15 minutes, and it's sort of amazing to see this man holding his own. He casts a couple spells here and there. His scimitars seem to be glistening, one with a little bit of blue, the other with kind of a silver tail that sort of follows behind whenever he swings it. And he's sort of rolling back and forth. The audience is cheering. And then you hear a
Not louder than Ignatius.
And then you hear a sort of crashing sound from backstage, and then the ground starts to rumble a little bit. And even at this, you see Mr. Lessem sort of turn his head urgently back in the other direction, and you start to hear some of the roars and cries of some of the animals that were being used for the show. So some of the other people in the audience are starting to get a little tense. People are starting to whisper, "What was that noise? What's going on?" And sure enough, a small little sort of stampede bursts out onto the central circus ring. Two T-Rexes, an Ankylosaurus, the Chimera, and a dire boar sort of burst out onto the stage. One starts grappling with one of the old ones, and at this point, chaos is starting to erupt. Everyone in the audience kind of goes, sort of collective shriek builds, and something is clearly going wrong, and most people are now making a beeline to get out of this tent.
Okay, how's our buddy doing? Mr. Lessem?
Lessem's still just cursing as furiously as before. He's still fairly focused on fighting these old ones standing in the center. And you will actually see a number of crossbow bolts fire from different places in the audience towards him. And he somehow, with lightning speed, deflects the majority of the bolts with his scimitar.
Okay, can we perception check these guys who are shooting the bolts at him?
Yeah, no need for a check. I mean, if you track left and right, you can see they're sort of standing upright while most of the other people in the audience are starting to scramble a bit over their seats and things. They're all wearing a black mask over their faces. Otherwise, they're mixed heights, mixed dress. And there were 4 shooters that you could see.
Okay. I turn to the others and say, well, I need to start earning a paycheck. Who's with me? And you hear the pop as my rapier just clears it's ready to quick draw. I kind of shrug, and then I vault the box to start heading towards the first guy we can see.
Sure. So there are 4 shooters in the audience. There's sort of an ambiance of chaos as people are scrambling to get out of here, and there's the odd sort of errant, dire animal or dinosaur roaming around as well. So, Cord,
Yep.
Randy, Elizabeth, how are you guys feeling about running into attacking
shots
shooters?
fired.
Literally shots fired.
All
The
right.
bone saw's ready.
I was trying to get you to say that for the last like 2 hours, man.
Yes, yes.
It was 2 minutes in, and I said nobody tossed the dwarf, but geez, 3 hours later. Bone saw.
Bone saw.
Yeah, so Finbar's pretty right in there. He,
Yeah.
you know, meta-wise, he is rolling initiative as he vaults over the box.
I'm
How
kind
about
of
the
hoping
others?
I'm being followed.
Hoping, but not sure.
Not certain, but you know, if all I can do is like take on one of them and maybe lose, that'll be the thing. Oh, I need to take off one of my spells for the day as well. I forgot that. But yeah,
Elizabeth rolls her eyes and follows closely.
cool.
All right.
Yep. Same with the good old Randy.
Yeah.
Well, looks like I need to draw the prop. I've checked my props. One's on my hip, one's on my back. Let's get him, man. I just gotta draw them and throw popcorn at someone.
Time to roll some initiative then.
Let's
Yeah,
get
everybody
'em.
give me
That
for initiative.
initiative button. Oh, what? Oh, I
Where is
have a
that
token
initiative?
selected, don't I?
Oh, probably not. All right, so it's just roll a d20 plus whatever the bonus is.
If you don't have a
Different
token, it
tokens.
might not work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
I'm just
saying.
gonna,
So
I'm
just
just gonna
roll.
track,
A D20
track it
plus
on
dex
paper.
mod. Yeah.
I'm gonna track
Yeah.
the initiatives on paper, and I'll just call out turns.
Cool.
I hear you. That's what I do. I don't use the roller. This takes too long. Boop, boop.
Oh God.
16.
So I flubbed my landing.
You
Yeah, that's
twist your
perfect. Like,
ankle.
you fall face down. You're in a chair. You're caught. You're prone. Yeah.
Just land on someone and it's like, oh God, oh, it's popcorn. Be a minute.
Oh, Caver, that would have been so good before too. Like when I was in the ring. Why didn't I use that one? I don't know, I was too busy doing the other Macho Man, like
You were
his
so-
like
yeah, you were looking up quotes.
his highfalutin stuff from like the WWF days. Like I ran through a bunch of that.
Yeah, the world
I
wide.
got you for 3 minutes of playtime, brother.
All
That
right,
can
so
be
Mr.
World Wildlife Foundation. Okay.
Mr. Savage, you are indeed first in this order. There are 4 shooters, 2 of which are within sort of 30 feet, one to the left, one to the right, and the other 2 are at sort of 60 feet out, one to the left, one to the right.
What did you I'm sorry that I missed it. What were you saying that they were shooting? What kind of arms do they have?
They've all got heavy crossbows, and they all fire directly at the ringmaster, but it's no effect.
Nuclear arm.
And their positions are again.
Yeah, I'll do a rough little sketch here.
My favorite. I love rough sketches. Ah, my cat wants attention, and she thinks biting is kissing.
Oh yeah, me too. Mine
Not
too.
on my hand. Yeah, yeah. She just was just
And like you'll walk by, and they'll just wrap around your ankle to maul you. Yeah.
yeah. The other day
if you're
she
drawing
kissed
on
my
a
beard.
page, you'll need to drag the player's tab over.
Yeah, the little bookmark.
If you pop down the little blue thing.
I'm gonna draw it right on this image here, just
Okay.
on the token layer. That's easier.
Yeah.
That's
Screw
cool.
it.
That's cool.
Cut out the
All
middle.
right, so
man.
there's your ring,
Looks like a good ring.
That was
center of the
very
ring.
circular.
It's definitely circular.
The
It's
ring.
good.
is-
It's good. It's a good ring.
Now it's a Pokemon.
Okay, so you guys were in the box at the top.
Okay.
We'll go with red for the bad guys here.
Biting isn't kissing, unless it's consensual.
Uh,
If you sign a release first, I think it's fine.
Hey,
Yeah, no,
I'm pretty
biting,
sure
not
that Lucis would have some issues with the health code there. You need to sign that in triplicate, get it submitted to a local notarizing body, and then
Lucius.
wait 2 to 6 weeks for a response.
For a response. Not even the right answer.
All right, so you guys are in the box at the top there. Like I said, just approximate. You got a 30-foot jaunt to either of the bandits left and right, and then another 30 feet to those further off.
Ignatius,
I'll
I thought you
close,
said this was going to be good seats. These are nosebleeds.
My speed's 30, so I'll move to the one on the left.
Okay.
Brandishing
can
my.
see- You can see
sword.
as you get closer, they've got leather armor on. They've got sort of daggers and short swords on their hips as well. So somehow these guys got past security too.
Okay.
I just
And then
pictured-
also remind me again, is it far enough in the performance that my hot sauce sickness is over?
Your sickness is gone. You're feeling. Well, I
Yes.
mean, we'll say you'll be sweating for a few days, and like anything you eat is going to taste like shit, or no, it'll taste like asphalt for like 3 days, whatever you eat. But beyond that, you're okay.
Yeah, it's perfect timing, especially for my strength and constitution for a barbarian for a fight. Awesome.
So good.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to change this back. And then as I dash over with my great sword drawn, and take a swing. So I'm gonna roll. 1 second.
Just quickly, how far apart are these? For instance, the two guys. So like to the left of the box or the right of the box. Like, what's the distance between them?
This guy.
'Cause basically,
Oh yeah, brother.
Yeah, so I'm moving them, like they're pretty much like equidistant now. So the distance from the
Nice.
box to the first two is 30, and then to the next one would be 30, if that makes sense.
okay.
Wow, that was a lot of damage.
Randy rolled a critical.
Boom. Holy.
Okay, you can
Randy ripped the guy in half.
You can just grab a kill, just straight up. That's a kill.
Oh my god. What is he? So he has a crossbow. They're wearing leather armors. Are they just humanoid?
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty well human. You can tell they've got bandit masks, but otherwise it's pretty visible from their eyes and skin, etc.
So yeah, Randy like literally like across, shoulder to like bottom of a rib cage, like just takes the top, like hacks through it with a great sword, in one foul swoop.
Right. So just like from the collarbone down to his hip bone, just like completely fucking chopped.
Yeah, and then in a very stylistic Tarantino way, like the blood actually like follows the sword, through.
And makes
Oh,
like a nice
yeah.
straight.
How'd you like that?
And then credits roll in like a very sporadic, abstract pattern. The beginning credits.
Yeah, no, I see.
All right, so our bandit on the left is now two pieces of the bandit on the left, so he won't be an issue anymore. And we turn to Cord.
I'm
The
too
guy who
hot
actually-
to handle and too cold to hold, brother.
The guy you actually cut in half, the only thing you can decipher from his screams is "Ah!" from the Tarantino soundbite. Oh boy, I think he's probably gonna, like you said, throw up the popcorn and then like toss it up in the air, brandish my weapons, and I chase after. Who's still in my vicinity? Everybody, right? It was the only savage who ran off.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you wielding? Miss
weapons?
Crit Miss.
I have a rapier and a short bow.
Okay. Hey,
I'm gonna say too,
let-
Cord. I'm just gonna intervene and point that like you're definitely sort of popcorn like all over your beard. Just kind of like,
yeah. Oh yeah. He'll get it later. Yeah. I like to put them in my beard so it like replicates the stars. And I can
Ignatius
You
is
have,
draw
like, a
my
snap
shadows.
beard.
over for one.
My spell power comes from my beard, especially when there are.
so you're kind of your vicious snarls or and there's just just the bitter guy.
There's like what is the daddy, the sticky daddy, whatever that is, like that lollipop, caramel lollipop just stuck in there. Yeah, he's gonna chase after Randy, and he goes, "You guys, I'll be thinking of you," and then he just runs off, and he chases after Randy, and he's like, "Wait, Randy, before you do anything crazy," and then he just sees the guy get cut in half. He goes, "Okay," and then he turns around, probably runs back to the group, and then he's probably gonna do a probably bless Elizabeth.
That's
So, you are blessed you get D4 to your attack rolls and saving throws.
Oh, dang.
Actually, I can bless up to 3 people, so I'll do you two and myself
cool.
because I can't do Randy
Ooh.
that far
You
away.
two is here.
Yeah, you two. Bono is here.
Yes. Circus
Rocks.
Don't they? Yeah, so that's his turn.
Oh,
All right, so Cord, after you sort of run out to see the unfortunately cleaved man, before we turn to Beth, you guys are going to hear kind of a sharp, fairly high-pitched kind of growl come from down at the pit, and a dire sort of ape is going to sort of thunder his way forward. Now, not as large. Again, I don't like when players sort of pull out monster manuals. Oh, what are this guy's stats? What are his numbers? You guys see a large-sized ape. It could be like a natural gorilla, but it would be sort of the very top end of how big these things would be able to get. It's kind of borderline that it would be unnaturally large. But this large ape is just sort of thundering on all fours, doing that kind of sprint forward. And he's going to make his way out of the ring right to Randy, and he's going to take a big beating sort of swing with his fist at Randy.
This cage says to New Yorkshire. This could be good.
So we'll say the ape is the square there.
All right.
So, Randy, what is your AC?
It's a 15, brother.
This is the best one shot.
All right, so there's a big slam right nearby to you, but somehow you manage to slink to the side, and it sort of crunches to pieces 3 or 4 seats underneath it.
Like the
yeah.
Grinch. When the
Yeah,
Grinch
actually
just
giving-
moves and goes slunk.
This is the first time I've actually played a barbarian, and it's actually neat. Their one stat, if you don't wear armor, you can add their dex plus constitution.
They're so
Yeah, yeah.
OP at level 1.
Yeah, they're nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
they're
like,
really
oh,
cool.
do you have a magic weapon? Well, I have 28 HP, like at a minimum.
No,
It's like,
Yeah.
what?
they're beefy tanks.
Disgusting. Love it.
Cool, so now we are to Elizabeth.
Seeing Randy in danger, Elizabeth goes for the square gorilla. She's gonna run up and swing her rapier.
And I believe flanking as a rogue gives sneak attack.
I don't think
does.
you have that at level 1.
Are you? I'm pretty sure
I
you
think
do.
that's like a level 2.
I will find out.
I think your damage scales, but I'm pretty sure you have sneak attack.
Yeah, I think you get a
I've been playing
D6.
Sniper System. I've been playing
Yep,
Sniper
you
System
get-
for the last 2 weeks, so
Sneak attack, beginning at first level, strike subtly, exploit for distraction. Once per turn, you can deal an extra 1d6 damage to one creature you hit with an attack.
Ooh.
If you have advantage on the attack roll, you don't need advantage on the attack roll if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it.
which is the case with Randy there. So no worries, you can definitely have the extra damage. So you're going to deal 8 for sure with a good skewer,
And then
but you can roll
1d6.
1d6. Yeah,
Good skewer.
Nice.
Ooh, fun.
Good kebab.
so nice kebab. And
I turned to Ignatius and I'm like, that's how it's done.
all right, so you can describe your skewer. It can be one good deep one. It can be like 3 or 4 quick like kind of jabs or thrusts, however you like.
I'm gonna do 3 quick ones.
Cool. So this thing sort of howls and turns
Yeah.
and sees it's now got 2 of you that it's dealing with. All right, after Beth, the bandits are going to turn and see that they've been set upon by the aristocrat box somehow. Sort of jumped to fight them off. So there's going to be some crossbow bolts flying. 1, 2, 3. One is going to go towards Elizabeth. One is going to go towards Randy. And then another one's going to go towards Cord. Finbar, thankfully, you're still prostrate under a bunch of chairs in a tangle, so no one's shooting at you.
I'm good, guys. It's all good.
So first, crossbow bolt at Randy. So that is going to hit, I believe. You're working with 15
Yep,
AC.
that was 15, so that should hit.
Okay, so 5 damage as a crossbow bolt punctures into you.
Dang, yeah, that's a third of my health.
Are you raging? Or not yet?
Is that trigger when damage happens?
It's just when you choose to hit
It's a
rage.
declare, yeah.
So,
And it's a bonus action, right?
on your turn, you can enter rage as a bonus action.
All right, so I can't do it now.
No.
I'm not raging right now. Why does that make damage less?
Yeah,
Halves
That's
damage.
in half.
That's
Yep,
that's
I'll,
all basic physical damage. That's why you can get like 28 health tanks at level 1.
Probably would
So-
make sense. Yeah, I'll rage next turn.
Do that shit.
For right now, I'll take 5, which
Right.
is a third of his points.
Also
So
get +2 damage.
Okay, so the next shot is coming to Elizabeth.
Dodge that shit.
Ooh, no. My AC is 14.
Okay, so 5 damage as a heavy crossbow bolt thumps into your back shoulder. We'll say it came from across the ring.
Ah!
I need to hold my spell for the healing word. Okay.
And Cord, there's going to be one coming at you.
Can't wait.
Ooh.
Ooh, not a natural 20, but what's your AC even with the shield?
It's not gonna hit. It's still gonna hit me. 18. So yeah, you still hit.
Okay, 5, and that'll sort of thump into your thigh there, just at the, sort of one of the seams of your chain shirt at the bottom.
Sweet. Does he take 5?
Yeah, piercing.
Where is my armor? Oh, jeez. That is terrifying.
All right, Finbar,
All right. So,
half your movement speed to get up initially.
damn it. Okay. So yeah, I'll hop up. So it's 30 feet to the nearest guy, or
Yeah.
Do. 1 second, just checking something.
Now, Cord, just to confirm, you're sort of still beside Randy and Elizabeth.
He turned and walked. He turned and ran back. He went over there, saw the great sword splash blood, and he went, "Oh boy!" and then went back and blessed everybody.
Okay. So you're still near the box?
Yeah. Not
Okay.
the gorilla box.
Cool. So I'm gonna like leap to my feet, and then with excessive cartwheeling, because Ignatius doesn't know how to do things quietly, I will run my 15 feet towards him, and then the last 5 feet will be a flip, and then like, because he's gonna be like, "What the fuck is this purple skinned tiefling doing?" And then I'm gonna throw a dagger at him, which by that point will be within short range, so I'm not disadvantaged.
Are you a bard? I don't remember what you are.
I'm a bard, yes.
Okay, cool.
So that's an 18 for 5 damage.
Pretty good.
All right, solid.
And I will then use my bonus action, and I will yell across the way, Randy, we're going to have to add this one to your moniker afterwards. The Great Battle in the Ring. And I will use that to give him Bardic Inspiration. So within the next 10 minutes, you can roll an extra d6 after an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. You can wait till you see the result of the d20 to declare you want to use it, but not like you can't after if he says it succeeds or fails.
Oh my!
Ooh,
So
very
yeah,
cool.
have a little attack buff.
Awesome.
Yes, which I
All
think
right, so
effectively
after
draws some attention.
After that shout call out towards Randy, they're like, "Randy, you're in a ring, man. It's a ring. You were made for this." You guys are going to hear from the center of the ring. You're going to hear Mr. Lessem continue his sort of string of abyssal curses, but sort of stitched into the middle of it. And he's now fending off a T-Rex as well. You're going to hear him scream. You're going to hear him sort of screaming out to someone called Longshore. He's just calling repeatedly, "Longshore, Longshore, where's Longshore?" And he's kind of delirious at this point. You're not really sure what's going on. Again, he's holding his own, even in his inebriated state. But we'll go back up to Randy at the top of our initiative order.
Okay, so he's gonna just from a from a meta level, he's gonna enter into rage. So that gives me just +2 damage, and then +2 to damage rolls, and then I have damage against me while I'm in rage. Yep. And he looks the great ape in the eye, and he goes,
Wake up to get the cake up, and I'm the cream of the crop. Monkey see, monkey do. And now it's time to beat on you, brother.
and swings with the greatsword.
You're gaining inspiration for the outstanding use of quotes, as well as rhymed couplets, as well as like narratively appropriate content.
I wrote that in between turns.
Good shit.
Thanks.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so I can roll just my attack with advantage then. Sweet.
You don't have to use it right away. You can cap it. It's your call.
I'll roll it with advantage. Why not? So it'll be a 14 versus AC.
Good thing you had advantage. 12 would not have hit. 14 is good for 17 deeps.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
that's
19.
19.
Because of the rage.
Right, +2, 19. Okay, so this thing is seriously bloodied. Still not dead, but you can describe a pretty severe wound to this thing with your greatsword, keeping in mind it's got 3 sort of essentially bullet holes in its back flank from the rapier.
Can I take an appendage off?
Yeah, sure.
So maybe like either a hand or a forearm, just something like maybe be losing a lot of blood.
Yeah, well, I mean, when he sort of slammed down beside you, you can, considering turns are all concurrent, even though we have to break it down turn-wise, you can just chop that whole arm off.
Looks like I got the monkey paw now.
All right, we're going forward. Unless you want to.
Did you ever see that episode of The Simpsons with the monkey paw? It's one of the Halloween episodes.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a short story too. Yeah.
All right, I'm good because I don't want to provoke the attack, so I'll stay where I am.
Okay.
So monkey's
All right,
still
so
awake.
forward.
Monkey.
The monkey is still alive, but it is on its last legs. Literally, it's missing one of its horns.
Purge the beast from this lands with the sacred flame of cord. Ah! It's just like that's like.
Does that also come in a tube or like a spray
Yeah,
bottle?
that comes in
It's
a
an
spray
aerosol
bottle,
can.
actually. Yeah, an
It's an
aerosol.
aerosol can, a lighter.
Yeah, exactly. Sacred flame. He has like a red light like a red bloodthirsty light. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, it comes out of the ground and
It's godly. It could be
fissures
emotional.
below. It's D&D. I can make up words and make it all together. And yeah, some sort of stuff happens. They make a DC 9 saving throw. Which one? That's the question. It is a Dex saving throw, and then take 6 radiant damage. If they fail, which he did fine. So yeah, take 6.
I think you've got it set to the wrong casting set, buddy.
No, I'm fine.
Really? You have decent.
Nope, probably not.
Because it's 8 plus proficiency, so it's 10 plus your whiz.
Yep. So it's maybe I have it wrong.
Because I think
my save stat is a wisdom. Yeah, so hold on, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still going to be below
Nope, still
18,
the
so I
same.
think he's still got it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so 6 damage.
So 6 damage.
And that takes it down. So you can describe
Athletic
this thing-
fire damage.
You can describe how this thing sort of ceases to be mobile as your flame eats into it.
Yeah, he kind of clangs his shield and starts to grunt as like he's seen and heard about in the lore of some tribes. Maybe even the constellation that he preyed upon, the constellation of Cord, is shining down on him, and he starts to like chant, and this, like I said, like a fissure of light kind of cracks underneath the being, and then flames start to lick up from its feet or from its wound, and then it just, I guess, just is enveloped with this like red bloodlust flame, and it just goes and falls to the ground.
Yeah, we'll say it comes out of his
Pat
wound
up the
because that's disgusting. I was like, his stump just starts to like sputter flame and just crawls
Yeah.
up his shoulder, and
Like
Awesome.
blood fire, and he's just like, yeah, where's the popcorn? Or no, it's done. He just takes out like the
pulls it out of the beard.
sticky daddy. He takes out one of the lollipops and he just goes, wait, where's it going? Tries to look for something else.
Thimble, I guess
All
that
right.
makes you a monkey's uncle, brother.
Monkey sim, monkey do.
All right, so with the monkey down, we get to go right to Beth. Elizabeth, it is your turn.
I look around and I spot this guy right here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to advance towards him and use my rapier again.
All right, let's see it. "17 is good, and 8 is not going to kill it, but it is going to leave this guy bloodied. So you can describe a pretty serious wound with your rapier.
I lunge towards it and like with both hands I like slash through. I'm like, rah! Yelling
like-
as I go.
Gorges open his chest. He's got this, maybe like a Z, or you could do like a B for Elizabeth, just like carved into his chest. Because no one has ever done that before.
yeah.
I don't know if you do it one
Totally
stroke.
original.
Yeah, like the sound of like, I appreciate the style. Ignatius is like throwing knives and being relatively ineffective because we're actually in a fight now, and it turns out bards aren't good at that.
So perfectly appropriate. It's now the bandit's turn. So Elizabeth, will start with you after you score your signature, your insignia into this guy's chest. He's immediately just going to sort of drop his crossbow and pull out a short sword and take a swing at you wildly while he's sort of clutching his chest with the other hand.
Elizabeth's at this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
16. Yeah, my AC is 14. I'm
Okay,
also
so-
at health right now.
You're at how much health?
3.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
well you are taking 4 damage from this short sword. So you drop unconscious
I'm down.
as this guy sort of carves. You've got a bolt on your back shoulder, and you sort of turn, and you can't dodge quite as fast as you used to because of the wound in your shoulder. And he manages to get a good slice across your belly, so you fall down. Okay, so we'll be on to your death saves next, but otherwise there's 2 more bandits with their crossbows. So Cord and Finbar, you each can have a bolt coming your way.
Yeah,
All right,
loosey-goosey.
I hold up the shield, ready for bolt.
So Cord at 12 is no good, so
Oh,
you
good.
just
You take that clang, just slaps it out of the way.
And Finbar on a 20, you're taking 5 damage from a bolt.
5 damage. Okay, that is me at 4, I believe. Okay.
And
Right.
now, Finn, your turn.
Yeah, so here's the wonderful thing about weird choice of how to make a bad healing spell in 5e. At a range of 60 feet, which I presume is about 30 feet between the guy I can just about reach Elizabeth. That's
Yeah,
60
that's fine.
feet. Yeah. So I will use Healing Word, which is a ranged heal as a bonus action, to heal her for 1d4 plus 1. Oh no, 1d4 plus 3, sorry. Or 4 even. Jesus. I have stats.
All right, roll it out.
Spells. Healing Word.
She can also just roll the d4 if you like. Oh, there we go. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's...
So yeah, I
Very
think it's
nice.
like Ignatius kind of like ducks behind a chair, looks over and sees Elizabeth's fallen down, and you get like the that's how it's done, right? And then like
Ooh.
you get this kind of like low whistle and some like a musical note, like a shiny golden musical note, like actually leaves the whistle, like floats across, and then just lands on Elizabeth's forehead. And you get that like an annoying tune that Ignatius whistles all the time, like sounds in your ears. As
Oh
you're, like,
no.
and then yeah, he's gonna like pop up and make a run for this guy. Did he move at all, or did he just fire from the same position?
No, fired from the same position, so he's still taking that dagger hit from you. So
Yeah. So I'm gonna run up and I'm gonna try and stab him with my rapier. Show me the money.
try and succeed. You can describe a killing blow.
Yeah, so I think Ignatius kind of like pops out from behind a chair, and maybe he'd snuck around a couple because he's not that good in a fight, but he is relatively sneaky when he needs to be. He just pops out from behind a chair, and this guy turns, and then just like one lunge. He's really inspired watching his hero just goes straight through the eye, pops up, pulls his dagger out of this guy, and like kind of gets ready to run at the next one. Yeah.
Already, you guys sort of cursory, you hear Mr. Lessem start to laugh riotously again, and this is sort of being boomed and sort of made much louder again with some thaumaturgy as well. And as you sort of glance over, you can see somehow he's now on top of the T-Rex, and he's kind of riding it, I guess, and fighting at these old ones with his rapiers. And again, he keeps crying out, longshore for longshore for longshore.
He's fighting like tentacle monsters from the back of a T-Rex with scimitars, dressed as a pirate circus guy.
I sincerely hope that whoever donated that £8 is still there, Brew. I hope you're tracking and this makes it worth your while. But otherwise, we're back to Randy.
Also, he's enough of a badass to keep his thaumaturgy going. Fuck bonus action spells.
How
I use
dare you.
thaumaturgy.
So I think Randy was still next to the square, right?
Yeah, you're within 30 feet of the bandit to your left there.
And then this guy just died.
Yeah, it just took a rapier thrust from Finbar.
And then has this guy taken anything yet?
Yeah, that guy's seriously wounded from Elizabeth's rapier, and Elizabeth had sort of fallen over next to him, and then recently just got like a breath of life from the music note.
Okay, and he just almost like mortally wounded Elizabeth, so that's going to anger the Randy man. And he's gonna throw one of his two. Let me see, just make sure. One of his two hand axes at him.
Big mistake.
Amazing.
Oh damn!
Oh
Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna take this one from you. I mean, you throw deliberately so that the axe head, like the sharp part of the axe head, won't hit this guy in the face, but like the blunt top of the axe head will, and his face just kind of like explodes / crunches in. He's beyond dead.
Yeah, it's like he's going for the stab on Elizabeth, and then he just flies off.
No one touches Miss Elizabeth but me, brother.
Right.
All right, back to Cord.
Killer attack rolls for me.
Here I
There's
am.
one bandit standing.
Oh, not for long, yeah. He's probably gonna. What can I do? What is badass enough to? Nothing. I have one spell that does damage. He's going to. Where is he?
He's this
The
one.
guy on the right.
He's the dot, right?
Yeah, 60
what is
feet
he?
from
What is the surroundings on him?
So there's no other people or sort of persons, I guess. Most of them have also evacuated or scrambled out. So he's kind of standing propped on one of the seats. And there's sort of seats around him with like various clothes and things, cloaks that people just ditched and left, lots of food and shit on the ground as well.
What are these seats made of?
I'll say they're wood with like really cheap fabric, so they're like a wood frame, and then kind of like camping chairs, I guess, but they're like fixed into the scaffolding or into the ground itself.
The fires of cord will burn your blood as you seethe and die. As he casts Sacred Flame on the chairs and the fabric, and
No. Okay.
take 1 radiant damage because it's not actually burning him. It's just the fabric.
So you're not dropping this on him?
No, I drop it on him, but he's also like,
Okay.
this'll do.
If he succeeds that
Also
save, I think he
bad.
takes nothing.
If he saves it. No, if he.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Takes a D8.
Yep, he takes a D8. So he
Green
takes
flames
1
of
damage.
cord consume his shoelaces.
It's 1d8. Yeah, he takes the.
Gets the receipts in his pockets.
There you go. Now you take 4 more.
Okay, so he's taking
Total
5 total. So that puts him at bloodied. So those flames we'll say they sort of lick out from the chairs and sort of wrap up his legs, up his waist. So he's just bloodied. That's definitely decent damage to this guy.
Boom.
And now, Beth, you have just received this breath of life from the music note with a sort of whispering, "You're welcome" from Finbar, just to sort of rub it in.
Suck it.
And
Possibly
you sort of,
shoot him.
the first thing you see when you come to, though, is the bandit who had stabbed you is now lying on the ground with his face entirely caved in.
I'm like, oh my god, that's disgusting. And then I see there's like fire over there, and I see this one last
Yeah,
bandit.
you can hear the guy shriek.
He's kind of far away, so I'm gonna use my short bow. I'm not sure the range of a short bow.
That's long enough.
120
He'll-
short.
He'll definitely be within range, yeah.
Okay.
Boom.
Ooh.
Bam, so this guy is like, his legs just caught on fire, and he just started wailing his arms, comically screaming, "Oh!" And then he just takes a bolt right in the neck, and it just turns into, "Oh!" And he does kind of a cave troll wheeze before he falls over.
They have a cave troll. Nice. All right.
So knowing that we are running short on time here, we've got another session coming up. We'll sort of wrap towards the end. By the time you guys are done with your melee, sort of fighting off these bandits, most of the tentacles have stopped writhing. When you look back to the center of the ring, Mr. Lesson is sort of standing there with his scimitars down at his side. The T-Rex is now also dead, and these 4 corpses are there. And he just sort of looks up to you and sort of salutes you with his scimitars and says, "It's been a hell of a night. Feel free to come back whenever you like." And he starts chuckling again to himself.
I want to raise.
And we can
Bring
end,
my weapons next time.
we can end cinematically there.
I turned to
Awesome.
Ignatius.
Should I get a
You owe
raise?
you owe me 5 gold.
Like, shit.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you
thanks-
so much, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
again
That
for
was amazing.
anybody in
Yeah.
the stream, anybody who was watching, all the new follows we got, the donations. Obviously, thanks all of you guys for contributing. We got lots more coming up in the stream as well.
We do. You guys want to go around? Finbar, you want to quickly do some plugs and shout outs while we
Absolutely.
call up Will? Will's probably still here, actually. Right, Will?
It's hovering. So, hello.
Creeping.
I am
I'm still
there. There he
Finbar. No, I'm good.
Okay, you go.
Better known on Twitch as I am Math and TV in the chat. I stream a lot of video games, including Dark Souls. Just finished a game called The Swindle. I also play role-playing games like this one. Currently playing through a campaign of Apocalypse World, where called The Snowocalypse, set in post-apocalyptic nuclear winter Britain.
So Vermont. Got it.
Where I believe one of our characters attempted to revive the British monarchy, and the other one's, well, one of them's in love with a prostitute. There's a bunch of possession. There's a guy who just wants to enjoy the open road, but unfortunately is getting turned into a creepy vampire. Yeah, I also do a thing for that show called the post show, as I call it, where I go through my GM planning and plotting and scheming live on camera for people to come watch and give me ideas for. So please go follow my stream, Math and TV, and on Twitter at FinbarDS.
Do it.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure.
The Maxers.
I will let Raymond speak for us.
Okay.
Before I get into the plugs, Mitch, I gotta say I really liked that, especially for characters that are just thrown together for the one shot. Rolling on those bonds and flaws together was awesome. It just
Yeah.
That was
I
a
don't know.
great
I love
idea.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've because like
love that.
I've had that issue sort of a lot, sort of like trying because you're usually trying to find that first session, like you're trying to find those connections, and then just having them be there and having it be a thing that's decided on, but like
Well, and you can only go with the Pathfinder method so often, where like adventuring is a trade, and so you just happen to be thrown together. And like, kind of, it's a bit two-dimensional too. So
Yeah. No.
yeah, that was great, and then also everyone just also for some quick characters, it's really fantastic roleplay all around. I feel like everybody got their time, like the activities at the fair, and then also the characters. I feel like everybody had their little time to shine, which was fun. Guys, I think I've dropped it a few times in chat as well. But Michelle and I run a Twitch channel called MinMaxers, which Mythmatic will be guesting on Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time after
right. Raise the roof.
after the Encounter Roleplay stream finishes.
Right.
Right now, we just launched. I was involved with another streaming project before, and then Michelle and I had been talking for a while about starting a stream together, and we landed on a roleplay stream because we really enjoy it. I'll be DMing this game on Wednesday. It's a 5e game based in the Forgotten Realms, basically sort of a political intrigue hook. A lot of interesting characters thus far. Would love if you guys could show up, rather. And then it's just Twitch, twitch.tv/MinMaxers, and then also same for our Twitters. It's at Critmas and at MinMaxers. And it was great. Thanks for having us, guys. It was a blast. Hope we
Thank
can
you
come
so
back.
much.
Welcome.
And if you come to our stream, you can hear me try to sing.
Yay. That sounds great.
Stay for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michelle plays a bard, and she's been writing for her spells and for her when she's using songs. She's actually been writing poems and songs and stuff.
I am
That's
not
awesome.
that creative. But bards are the best
Yeah.
characters, as we've
Oh
discussed.
yeah,
love
definitely.
bards.
I
Oh,
love
yeah, that's
bards.
Bards.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you
and,
so much.
Delina,
So I don't.
Delina.
I'll do my little plug here. I don't stream, unfortunately. Somehow miraculously, I managed to hop onto Myth's hosting here at the Counter Roleplay. They were gracious enough to put up with my 2005 MacBook. I think this piece of shit. So I definitely don't have
that's
the.
mine
right so far.
too.
I don't have the hardware to stream and stuff. This is my first time streaming, but I do a ton of jamming online through Roll20, through a couple online communities. I run 2 games right now on Sundays. One that's like a Victorian superhero kind of game that Myth is hopping in on shortly, and then as well as sort of sci-fi Mass Effect-esque kind of exploration game. Yeah, I mean, the only other thing is that I have a little blog where I just kind of think out loud and put together ideas for GMing. I've been GMing for probably like 10 years now,
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
Wow. Yeah,
yeah, just
great.
Great website.
I have it open now. I'm going to read it through after we're done. Well, maybe tomorrow. It is.
yeah, so I just post lots of
That's
different
nice.
stuff. I mean, there's GM tips for people who want to sort of transition from players to GMs, and then just kind of think tank stuff for brainstorming players, ways to think about character concepts, stuff like that. I post stuff every Monday, so check it out, dlinear.wordpress.com, and you can follow me on Twitter. I'm usually big on sharing industry stuff, as well as my new articles, as well at Roll dLinear on Twitter.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank
That's,
you guys.
that was me
for
rolling something.
an awesome
Thank
session.
you for preparing this.
Yeah.
Thank you so
No,
much.
So
it's a lot of fun, man.
No worries, thanks for playing.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're not going anywhere. There's going to be 20 seconds where the stream is down, and I'm going to run to next room and then start next session with Sydney. So don't go anywhere, even though the stream's going to be down for
Oh
20
wait,
seconds.
wait. Are you taking laptop? Is
I
that
am
what's happening?
indeed. I am.
Ah, that makes
indeed.
sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks
I'm
for
gonna-
putting everything together and planning it, Will. It was really cool.
No, welcome, my
Well,
friend.
and
We're going
Myth
to have to
as
do this
well.
again.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
luck
I'm
with
with you.
another 8 hours, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm feeling strong.
I have,
feeling so
I have
strong.
2 hours
You
to
got it.
nap, and then I have to wake up and do something.
Yep.
We just power through it.
Yeah.
I'll probably be playing Neverwinter if you guys want to play with me. I am. You can follow me on Steam. But
Is that any good, by the way?
it's okay. It's
Chip
a lot of
plays a
fun.
lot
It's a
of
lot of
that.
fun for D&D. I mean, it's a lot of fun to.
Flavor-wise?
Yeah. It's fun. There's a Foundry system where other players can make modules, and you can just play through their instances, which is really cool. That's pretty much why I'm playing it, and I'd like to keep the community together. So I think that's a cool place to do it, especially all D&D all the time.
I'm excited
But,
for Sword Coast Legends. Seems fun.
That does seem really cool.
Yeah, same concept.
Regardless.
When the stream goes back live, I will not be here. I will be off, probably resting, and then I'll be back later, probably in a zombie state, figuring out my sci-fi campaign.
Awesome.
So, yes.
That's right.
So that's it from me here at Encounter Roleplay Mythomatic. You guys can follow me at Mythomatic as well. Of course, if you haven't followed already here, then you're a dummy, and I will find you. I'm just kidding. But anyway, thanks so much, guys. It's been a lot of fun. I'm sleepy.
Yeah, me too. But I'm going to carry on for another couple of hours, people. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in like 20 seconds. So it's goodbye for everyone here for just a little minute.
Bye, guys.